Grabbing a hoodie. It's cold. The better half. I mean,
Hold on, we gotta restart that. We're gonna. I just realized I was muted.
holy shit, babe.
So, starting over. The joys of the digital age when you can edit shit.
Better half. Oh my god. I mean, only you.
What else, Sky? We're gonna. So, let's try this one more time, chat. Welcome to another episode of Table Talk. I am a Misfit. I am a beginner streamer, evidently based on how tonight has already started off. Thankfully, what you're going to be hearing on Spotify when this goes out is going to be edited, so you're not really going to understand why I say this unless you go back and watch the VOD. Joining me tonight is my beautiful wife, my partner, my co-host, Virgint. Go ahead, babe.
I'm Lady. Nice to meet everybody. I'm the better half.
And tonight we are going to be sitting down with RamrodJenkins. We met him on LiveSpace, and that is not the only place you guys can catch him at, though. And we're going to talk more about that because I do have some questions for him. Talk about how he does with it, because my efforts to multi-stream kind of fizzled out and burned out because I just wasn't apt for it. However, what I've seen, he does it pretty well. With that being said, Ram, go ahead and introduce yourself.
All right. Well, thanks for having me, number one. And I am Ramrod Jenkins, variety streamer and content creator. I've been roughly doing it for about a year and a half now, give or take a little bit. Basically, started off on YouTube in the beginning, and then went to Twitch after a little bit and then just kind of bounced around a little bit and then ultimately went to Kick around probably June or July, I would say, of this past year in 2023. And then, man, from there, it's basically just kind of spread out to all platforms. So you'll catch me playing a huge variety of games.
Okay. So how do you find? I want to kind of dive right into the multi-stream because I've seen on Twitter it can be a source of um, and people have their thoughts and opinions on it. So how are you finding that it's working for
You know, I would say, and kind of to your point, I've seen a lot of kind of the same things on Twitter as far as this platform over this platform, and this one's bad, this one's good, and I don't necessarily delve into that just
you? Mhm.
because, for me, I want to try and encourage everybody that I can and be supportive, and be encouraging and show kindness. And I understand that people prefer certain platforms, and I think ultimately that was kind of my mindset behind the multi-streaming, which was I want to go live, I want to meet people, I want to make friends and give them the opportunity to watch from whatever platform they prefer. And it can get a bit overwhelming at times when you're trying to read multiple chats, but
Mm.
at the same time, so far, it's been pretty doable and I've enjoyed it. So I don't know. I mean, at some point in time, there may come a time where I have to like downsize the the number of platforms I'm going to,
I,
but
I get that 100% because the reason why I wanted to start with that is it just I recently was trying out multi-stream from Live Space and Twitch. Lady was doing it with me, Live Space, Twitch, and YouTube, and I was just screwing it up. And like I was chat windows were being closed, and I wasn't catching it, and I was
yeah,
missing out. You
yeah.
know, so that's why like from what because I sometimes I look in your stream and everything. You seem to have a pretty good handle on it. Couldn't complain. You know, I know we all know that streams have delays and everything, but I think you keep up with it pretty well from what I've seen. So that's why I wanted to ask, like, struggle with it at all, or is it pretty seamless at the for the moment?
Um, I would say for the moment it's decent. I mean, I'm kind of OCD about everything, and that's just I guess that's just kind of like the veteran in me. I just get OCD about things, and so I set up all of my tabs the exact same way, so I know where everything should be.
Okay.
so
Okay,
so
so
when
you do what I do.
yeah, I feel like I have to because then at that point, if something I guess screws up, I can be like, oh, that's what's wrong because I can look and see that something's not necessarily running the way it should. Like the past three streams, I've had issues, whether it was OBS or my PC or just the weather knocking the power out two
Yeah.
times. So there's
Wow.
always challenges.
Yeah, wasn't it the other night? What was it? Just a couple nights ago? I think you said your stuff shut down. You lost power. It came back up, and then I think it was the game crashed on. Right? You had like
Dude,
a 3-in-1.
it was like one night my PC randomly blue screened for no rhyme or reason,
Right.
and I was like, well, crap, I don't want to try it again. I'll just wait until tomorrow, make sure nothing is seriously wrong, and then yeah, the next day it essentially the game crashed, and then we picked another game to play. And then the power got knocked out of my house, came back on, so I started to stream back up and everything. And then an hour later, it went back off again. Um,
Dang.
so it was just like 3 days of everything that could happen was just happening.
Yeah.
Um, But, multi-streaming though is fun for the time being. I mean, I can understand that. I guess as a creator or a streamer gets to a certain, maybe threshold or community or viewer count, it probably would be fairly impossible to try and keep up with 4-5 platforms. But as of now, I enjoy doing it. But I hope that one day, that the community and channel grows to a point where I could narrow it down, because ultimately, and I'm going to put it out there, my favorite platforms are LiveSpace and Kick. That's where I've met the most people. That's where I've met the most community. The most friendships that I've made throughout this year and a half have been from those platforms.
Okay.
Now, I do have a question. With the
Sure.
way you've been handling your multi-streaming, do you have like a specific, like, I know you said you're very OCD about like how you set up your windows, but like on your OBS, do you have it set up where all your chat comes through on one spot for all your platforms? Or other than LiveSpace, because we know LiveSpace doesn't have that yet. But is everything else in one location, or do you have separate windows up for everything?
Um, in OBS, I've got Botrix for Kick and Twitch, but
Mhm.
of course I'm still waiting for the live space integration, because that will be fantastic when that happens.
Absolutely.
But I've got YouTube hooked up to Botrix, and YouTube and Botrix don't play well together. For whatever reason, I mean, it's even in Botrix's Discord. They have issues, and with YouTube, I've got Botrix set as a moderator, and I'll start up on stream, and it'll pop up in chat and say, "Hey, Botrix is, enter the chat room, everything's good." But then whenever you try and put in like a command that you have, it won't work, and it won't show up in the multi-stream chat doc that I have. And I've tried everything, and to no avail. So I've just got it to where like YouTube and LiveSpace, I've just kind of got their own separate windows. But Kick and Twitch, I always have in a multi-chat dock in OBS.
Okay. I just was kind of curious because like when we were doing all three, like Lead was saying, it's a struggle. So like I used to stack the windows where it would be like Twitch, LiveSpace, and then YouTube. So like I'd
Yeah.
know what order they were in. And I would try not to touch them, period.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
And that's the thing, is like OBS, that one thing I've noticed is like OBS has, at least for me, over the past, I would say 3 to 4 streams, has just randomly in midstream decided to, the settings that I've literally had set for, my goodness, months and months, would fluctuate for whatever reason. And so I would have to go in there and readjust things and get it back to where it's supposed to be. And I don't know why that is, but it has definitely been a struggle the past several streams.
Yeah. Have you tried? You heard about social net?
I haven't really dove too deep into it, but I did through LiveSpace. I think it's like on the connected apps or whatever in your dashboard. And I brought it up and I was looking at it, and I did download the plugin, but that's as far as I've got with it.
Okay, because that's what I use when I'm doing, even now, just to do live space and YouTube. I dumbed it down, like, because I still do. But it seems to work a little bit better than trying to keep, like with what Lady was saying, stacking windows and trying to keep up with it that way.
Yeah.
It's complicated.
So rewinding a little bit, because I just wanted, since we kind of like jumped the gun and got into. How long have you been streaming for?
I started in September of 2022.
Oh wow! So what, a year and a half now?
Yeah, roughly.
Okay. And did you start on Kick, or you said you started on Twitch, right?
YouTube, actually.
YouTube. Okay. Actually, that's it. Because you don't normally hear too many people say they started on YouTube. So what made you decide to, like, how long did you do YouTube before you started to say, okay, you know what, let me try something else? Not that you gave up on it, but you just kind of explored other avenues.
So it's kind of a crazy story.
We
I had
want
yeah, it's really wild how it all happened because obviously I'm 34, so I've been a gamer my entire life ever since I was a small kid. And like I grew up playing the NES with my older brother. So I've always been a gamer, and I was like, it would be so cool to stream. And I would see people streaming, I would see people, on Twitch and things like that. And I was like, man, that would be so cool. But I was like, nobody's gonna want to watch me. Like I'm just a chill dude. I'm easygoing. Like I'm not super hype and yelling and just like blowing everybody's eardrums out. Like I'm just there to chill, play games either with people or by myself and chat with people and just have fun. And so I talked myself out of it for several years. And then in August of 2022, I had surgery and I had a recovery of about 6 weeks. And I was laying there and I was like, man, what am I going to do? Like, I'm like couch ridden, so I can't really go anywhere. I can't do anything. And so I just started watching a lot of live streams and on Twitch and YouTube. And I started meeting some people and then I had a few people just encourage me like, hey, when you get better and you can, give it a try. And so I started kind of watching YouTube videos on how to set OBS up, how to figure out how to stream, and then on September the 4th, which is my birthday, on September the 4th of 2022, I went live for the first time on YouTube that afternoon, and then that evening I went live for the first time on Twitch.
Mm-hmm.
So I did them both in the same day, and then from that point on, I kind of intertwined. I would do one platform for a couple of streams, and then I would do, the other platform for a couple of streams, trying to get a feel for streaming in general, and then just what the platforms were like. And it ultimately came down to, for me, YouTube was more friendly for like maybe the shorts or like the long form content, but streaming wise, it was very, very, very hard for me to meet new people. Then when I went over to Twitch, it seemed like it was a little bit easier to a degree until it just got to a point where it was so oversaturated that like no matter what I was trying, I couldn't meet any new people. And I was kind of getting bummed out about it. And I was like, I don't know if this is for me. I'm not really growing or going anywhere. And then that's when several people I knew was like, hey, there's this new, platform Kick. Why don't you give it a try? And then that's kind of the starting point of when I went to Kick and kind of made that, I guess, my main platform.
Okay.
Okay.
So then, you feel like Kick's been a good fit for you. So what brought you to LiveSpace?
With LiveSpace, it was kind of a mixture of a few things. Around that time, Kick was going through a lot of different controversies. There were a lot of things happening, and there was a lot of accountability not being taken, and a lot of moderation not happening, and ultimately, I understand that in this like industry and hobby and career field, like you're gonna have your bad apples. I totally get that. But I was kind of hoping that there was going to be some more moderation and more fairly applied moderation to all people, regardless of like what your following size is.
Mm-hmm.
And about that time, of course, my buddy System Malfunction, he was hitting LiveSpace, and a couple of other people was like, "Hey, LiveSpace," and I was like, "Well, what is it?" And so I looked into it, and really, kind of from the first day, I really just got hooked, to be honest. I love the aspect of being able to stream, but then you can post updates and pictures and link videos, and it feels like more of a community
Right.
than it is just a streaming site.
Okay.
So I've kind of gotten to a point lately where even though I am multi-streaming still, um, if it came down to me instead of doing like 5, if it came down to me like having to pick 2, I would pick Kick and Live Space, because that's just where I've met all of my friends, all of my community, all of my support, and love have all come from those 2 platforms over anything else.
Okay.
I guess my question plays into the Kick thing. So you were talking about how Kick was going through some changes and some interesting things. So we're now seeing the new Kick controversy that's out there. Kind of curious as to where you're sitting on that, you know.
Yeah,
Um
I think
like
is it the one about the video?
Yeah, it's the
yep.
YouTube video. It's going and making circles.
Okay, yeah. I actually just saw that today.
Yeah, so did
So
I. So
Yeah.
that's
Trust me,
how.
we were watching it. So I was kind of curious, like how does that make you feel about still streaming on Kick and having that be one of your main platforms?
you gotta get out of my head because I was literally I wanted to bring that up because knowing that you said it before in your streams, like, Kick is a good home. It feels like a good fit for you, at least at the moment, right? No,
Yeah,
you never know what the future holds. But then you brought up
right.
controversy, and so, and you said that there was controversy going on Kick that kind of maybe not turned you off, but kind of influenced you to at least give Live Space a try. So
Yeah.
with this new one, curious as to your thoughts on it.
I think, and even kind of backing up just a little bit, before I tackle that one, I did even have some great support on Twitch,
Mhm.
even kind of starting out, and I did meet some great people on Twitch.
Right.
But it was also one of those things that when I felt like I wanted to do Kick initially as well as Twitch, um, it was kind of like a lot of those people just stopped supporting me because they looked at it like, well, you're abandoning us, and it wasn't that. It was, I still wanted to do both,
Right.
and I was like, for me, I didn't look at it like I'm abandoning anybody. I just wanted to grow as a person and as a streamer and content creator and get more,
Mhm.
versified.
Yeah.
Be able to do different things, and for example, kind of day one since Twitch, and I think I'm only at 650 followers, but not even a year on Twitch, I'm at 1100.
Damn.
So, I've met a whole lot more people on Kick, but it's like we've talked about this in our community as well, in our Ultimate Alliance community, me and the other 2 founders, and it's like it's so hard because I understand, like, you're gonna have your bad apples and people that do really crappy things that shouldn't
Mhm.
do those things. And I look at it, it's like, I guess, where's the fine line? For example, Twitch would allow some of the craziest things and
Oh yeah.
not banned, and
Mhm.
then somebody would do something minor and then they would ban them for a very long time, if not
Yep.
permanently.
Yep.
But then other people would get on there, like big name streamers, and dox people and
Mhm.
give out their real information and then ban them for 6 hours. So there was there was never a concrete fairness into the moderation of Twitch. And then, with Kick, I don't know that there really is any moderation. I just don't really see any type of moderation, and if there is, it's most definitely not fairly used across the board.
Mhm.
So, with the instance that I literally saw today, I mean, I was at work
Yeah.
and I got an alert on my phone, and I was like, "Uh-oh," and I brought it up and I watched it, and I was like, "Uh-oh," I
Hey,
was like, "That's not
yeah.
good."
We were watching
Um,
it and it was like a shock. It was like, "What the heck?"
And here's the thing that I often wonder is going back to kind of I guess probably the last bigger controversy that Kick had with Ice Poseidon and
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
things like that, and when you had Eddie in your chat and kind of egging it on a little bit, that's definitely not moderation. And
Yeah.
then in this current incident for today, there was a Kick staff in this dude's chat while he was doing this. So
Mhm.
you know, it just comes to a point where when when is enough? Because it's like you have these people that are giving this platform a really, really bad name when
Uh-huh.
there's a lot of really damn good people on that platform,
Oh, absolutely.
and
Mhm.
you just get overshadowed because of people doing jughead things. And it just sucks, man, because everybody that I've met on Kick have been freaking awesome people, loving, kind, caring, and a lot of whom I've actually became friends with and talked to really regularly. But the sad truth is that most people aren't going to be able to get to know those people because they're going to be turned off by what these, big streamers are doing controversy wise. And it just sucks because it gives everybody a bad name when it really shouldn't. And that's where live space has been a breath of fresh air because you, at least for me, I just don't feel like a peon. Like I don't feel like just this little tiny person that's never seen or heard. Like I feel like
Mhm.
Todd and Spencer actually do care and listen and want the best for the creators and the platform and actively try and seek that out. Um, and that's been really refreshing for me because I remember the very first stream I ever did on Live Space, and like Spencer popped in, and I was
Mhm.
like, "Oh, hello."
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
my second stream, Todd popped in, and I was like, "Oh, hello."
Right.
It was just
Yeah.
it was wild. I've never seen anything like that on any other platform as far as a staff member, let alone a co-founder coming into my chat and being like, "Hey, I'm following you. What's up? How's your day?" And I'm like, "What?" Um, so that's what's really, really kind of veered my direction more so into live space even more seriously since because I've only been on live space I think 2 or 3 months. Um, so I've really loved it and I've grown really well over here and I've met you guys. I've met a lot of people obviously in Creatix. I've met a lot of people in Final Kill that are fantastic, Joker and Lucha and a bunch of those
Mhm.
people that are just awesome, awesome people. So it's been amazing, honestly.
So, trying to figure out how to word that. I want to make sure I don't word negative connotation because it's not supposed to. Do you feel, because I see the comment, like I watch Twitter a lot. I read a lot of comments and a lot of stuff. Um, Live space is getting more notice, which is in
Yeah.
turn bringing more comments, positive, and in a certain light, negative. With it being new, it's obviously people are going to have some eyes on it because it is new. People are hyping it up and everything. So, do you feel like call it success? Because to me, it feels like success because you know, uh, you feel it's just because it's so new. Like we saw Kick, everybody was hyped about it. Hell, I was hyped about Kick when I first got to it. Seemed awesome. I heard about the Kick incentive program. I was all for it and everything. And then, like you said, the controversy started up. And there were some things that just turned me onto it to where not bad stuff. It just was like, this just not feeling it. So, do you think that Live Space is is getting the light that it is just because it's new, or is it? Do you actually think that the platform in itself is people are hyped for it because of what it's bringing to the table? Like people, like it's always easy to see. Like, let me back up because I want to try to make this make sense.
No,
um,
what you're asking makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think honestly it would be I would think it would be a bit of both,
mhm,
honestly. I think that people do love that is something so new and it is an alternative to other platforms. But then I think that there's also a lot of people, like me personally speaking, for me, that they did join live space and then they started streaming on there and they were like, man, this platform is pretty cool. I really dig this platform.
Raise my hand.
Mhm.
So it's kind of like, I would say a bit of both. I think people enjoy that it is a new platform and it is a breath of fresh air. And then once you stream there, you're like, wow, okay, this is pretty cool platform. Um,
Because you
I,
don't get a lot of platforms that have like that social integration
yeah,
and the options that LiveSpace offers.
for sure. For sure. And I think that that's probably the big draw for a lot of people, apart from like the community aspect of live space, is
Mhm.
that, oh, I can have this community and I can do everything all in one. I can stream, I can post, I can give updates, I can do, link
Mhm.
my YouTube video here. There's so much that you can do, and it's all in one platform. And so I think people really love that idea. And I just hope that throughout time, as live space inevitably gets bigger, because I really believe it will, I just hope that the integrity of what the community is remains how it is now, instead of like a lot of toxic mess coming over from other platforms.
Yeah, I feel that actually, so I got two questions for you. First one, what you just said. Do you see, if you had to pick, if you had to pick one platform right now out of all the platforms out there, which one would you pick right now? Like if you were told, nope, you can only stream on one platform, where would you go if you had?
Oh, ooh,
Mhm.
Sorry, my brain is running with two different questions, so I figured let's start there. Let's start with that.
ooh, Misfit put me on the spot.
There's no wrong answer.
And I
No.
think I think that's the crazy thing. You and I have the same questions. You need to stop.
I honestly, and I'll say it this way. If I had to pick one platform right now, and obviously I'm not just going to say this because we're on it right now, it really would be live space. And the reason being is I feel that whenever I stream now, even multi-streaming, I may have on average probably 2 to 3 lurkers on Twitch, maybe.
Mm,
Mhm.
And Kick, I'll usually have anywhere from 15 to 30. It just depends. But YouTube, I've gotten to a point where I stream vertically in the shorts form because YouTube is allowing that now,
mm,
and it has allowed for discoverability tenfold compared to streaming on YouTube the old way.
mm.
Um, and kind of the same with TikTok. Whenever I would stream on TikTok, it was never intended to be a main platform. It was just intended to be a stepping stone to try and get whoever is watching on TikTok or YouTube vertical live stream to pop over to, say, Kick or Live Space.
Okay.
But Live Space for me has just been more genuine because when I stream, there are more people that hang out with me and chat with me.
Right.
Whereas on Kick, I may have 15 to 30 viewers, but realistically, one, maybe two people are talking to me there. Everybody else is just either saying, exclamation point lurk or got you pulled up or spamming emotes. And don't get me wrong, I appreciate every lurk, every tab, every emote, because to me that's saying somebody is taking the time out of their day to say, I care about Ram enough to pop in his chat and at least say hello. They didn't have to do that. There's millions of other streamers.
Mhm.
Mhm.
But at the same token, I look at Live Space and I've got 6, 7, 8 people in there watching, and probably like out of those 6 or 8, I've got 4, 5, 6 of those actually chatting. So to me, streaming has never been a monetary thing. It's not about money. It's not about subs. gifts, bits, donations, whatever. I love just meeting people, and when I'm streaming, I love just talking. I love talking to people and interacting with chat, and Live Spaces had the most of that for me.
Okay.
I mean, every one of your streams I've been in, they're popping off.
I try, honestly, I do, but I feel that the reason is because, like, I have really, really worked my butt off for the past year and a half to try and build friendships and community regardless of platform. And I feel like when you build those real, genuine friendships, those true friends are going to follow you regardless of what platform you stream on. I mean, they're going to say, "Oh, Ram's on Live Space, I'm going to hop over there." Or Kick, I'm going to hop over there. And they're going to follow you not for the game or the platform, they're going to follow you for you. And so I think that I do love Kick, and it would be a very, very, very close second to Live Space, because there are days when I do get a lot of those people that come in and chat with me and hang out. But more often than not, it's a lot of lurks and tabs, and there's just not a lot of interaction there.
Okay. So
I feel bad when I lurk.
Yeah.
And I do it a lot while I work, because I work from home, so I sit in front of my computer all day. So I lurk while I'm working. So yeah, I am paying attention to the game, but I want you to feel like you have that engagement. So I always feel guilty though, because I'm not talking like I would if it was a normal stream and I was around.
And I feel like that's totally normal, because a lot of us, especially us that are older, I mean, we've got jobs, we got kids, we got like adult responsibilities, and like I get that wholeheartedly. Like when I'm at work, if I get some free time, hey, I'll pop in some streams if I can. But a lot of times at work, I don't have a lot of free time, so I'm working, you know. So, but I feel like work and family are always going to take priority. But you know, I that's why I see people get upset on Twitter about, you know, lurks or tabs, and I can understand it. I can understand their frustration, but at the same time, I also choose to look at it in a positive way, which is, you know, hey, this person might not be engaging in chat, but they got my stream pulled up and they're trying to support, even though they may not physically be able to be there because they're either working or they're with their family or, you know, kids. And the thought and the intention mean a lot to me, because, you know, we all stream. Everybody in chat probably streams. You know, we all probably know 20 or 30 streamers ourselves. So there's always plenty of other people that they can go and watch, but they choose to come by and hang out with you. And to me, that thought means the world.
And it's funny you mention it, because we don't want to use this not to take away from the. We can't all be like System, who dude somehow manages to pull up 30 tabs and can engage with 30 different chats. You know,
you can keep up with all of them.
Like,
I don't know how the man does it. I swear to God, he's an android.
Yeah, like for me, I can't do it. Like I can make maybe one or two, maybe three if I'm in a, you know, if I'm in the right mood, but you know, I struggle. So, you know, I try to put in a little bit of time, like, because I'm one of those, like, I'll come in for a little bit and then I'm going to go, you know, support somebody else. I'll be honest, like, I think it was just the other night with yours. I was switching, I was in your chat, then I was going over to somebody else's, and I was making sure coming back, you know, and that's the struggle I think that we all, and I'm curious to your thoughts on this. You know, we all struggle with this, is trying to grow our chat, because 90% of our viewers, you know, are streamers as well. You know, so we're all trying to grab that even couple of seconds of viewership from people who are literally doing the same thing that we're doing. You know, you got plenty of people, I'm sure you've seen it on social media. Your stream and pay attention to your chat. Stop going to other streams, you know, and because then it just shows that you don't care, you know.
See, I have such a hard time with that, because Dana brings up a valid point in my chat. Anyone who complains about lurks I'll take my view back. Like, that is how I feel. Like, I do agree that if you take the time to lurk in somebody's stream and at least take the time to make your presence known, at least you're they're making them feel like they're supported. It's like you said, we can't always live in somebody's stream 24/7, but if I start the lurk, I always try to come back up and at least finish. Like if I get a break or something, like, "Hey, how's it going? How are the games?" You know, and but I would rather have lurkers than not have anybody, because at least they may not talk this time, but the next time they may talk, eventually they're going to turn into a follower. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think that Dana in your chat is absolutely right. I mean,
Yeah.
it kind of goes back to what I said. Like to me, the fact that like say lady in your example, like let's say you're working, but you got a couple of your friends pulled up that are actively
Mhm.
streaming. Of course nobody expects you to just like you're working, you know what I mean? Like you can't be in the chat like 24/7 just
Mhm.
super engaging. But to me, that means the world, because that means like, hey, you took the time out of your work schedule to pull up a separate tab
Mhm.
for me and just let me know, hey, I'm here, I'm working, but I'm here, I got you. Like to me, that intention, that effort says, well, lady cares about my stream enough to come hang out,
Yeah.
and I've seen people on Twitter just like absolutely say, well, there was a post I saw. It was either yesterday or Saturday, but it was just a huge paragraph that was like, lurks and tabs are doing nothing but hurting the streamer, giving them false hope because, and I'm paraphrasing because it's
Yeah.
been, I think,
Mhm.
Saturday, but essentially it was kind of like, basically lurkers and tabs don't matter because they are giving that streamer false hope and false engagement, and it's just a number, but it's an empty seat. That's like going in to the theater and nobody's there. And I kind of understood their rant, but I didn't agree with it just because, you know, you look at these big streamers, hop into like Tim the Tapman stream one time when the dude's got 30, 40,000 people watching, and not all 30, 40,000 people are talking. Like there's no way. But to me, small streamer, I appreciate every single lurk, tab, emote, like, message, all of that matters to me. I am never ever going to discredit somebody or get upset because somebody is is not being super engaging. I mean, the fact that somebody takes time out of their day to come say hello to me while I'm streaming means that they literally thought in their mind, "Oh, Ram's online. I'm going to go say hello." And that means the world to me because that means I matter to that person. So, I'm never going to complain about that.
I
Yeah.
think it's nice. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, I'm sitting here thinking and I'm formulating a thought, and I've seen this a lot. Whether we're talking about people aiming their negativity towards, and I say negativity because to me it's negative because people aim their comments at a platform or at lurkers or at tabs, and I take issue with it because let's use the empty movie theater. We'll compare streaming to TV or a movie, right? And obviously, the movie, for it to be considered successful, tickets be there and to give reviews and some sort of like audience interaction, right? So I get it. Then as for TV shows as well, you have many TV shows. I mean, new TV shows come out all the time, and
Yeah.
based on response and interaction and whatever, determines whether they're going on for a second season or hell. I think we could probably all point out one show that died out after half a season. They didn't bother
Yeah.
renewing it. At the end of the day, it's on the show, the movie, or in this case, the creators. It's the creators' responsibility. It's on them to put out content, put something up that is engaging enough to bring a view, whether it's a lurk or a tab or an active chatter. But then, and say it should, once they get there, It's your job as a creator to sell them on you, to get them to stay, and then to get them to come back. It doesn't just end just because the person puts your tab up. You've got to
Yeah.
bring them back. Not,
Mm-hmm.
and let's just take the three of us. Or I'll take Lady for example. It's not my job to bring a viewer to Lady. It's not
No.
Lady's job to bring a viewer to Ram, and Ram, it's not your job to bring me a viewer. And so if you're not,
It's not your platform's job to bring you viewers. You need to sell yourself.
Yeah.
So that's where I just take issue with it. I'm reading Dana's chat, place, and trust me, if I could go back now, and if I'd seen it, I think I would have. But it's becoming a frequent thing. It's like everybody's got a complaint about something, and to hear you say it, not that you're saying it, but to hear you say that you're trying to put out a community vibe, because I always say there's two types of creators, right? There's the gaming creator and there's the community creator. From what we've heard so far, you're 100% a community creator. Not that you're not a good gamer, but when I say like somebody's a gaming creator, they are hardcore, fucking balls to the wall, just going God mode on every game, putting up 20 to 30, 40 kills on Call of Duty and Fortnite, or God mode in League of Legends, and I'm using that because we were just on League of Legends last night,
Jesus Christ.
That's a gaming creator. People are coming for the gaming, like the high stakes, high octane, high energy gaming stream, right?
Yeah.
Community streamers like yourself, or like what I would like to consider myself. I
would classify us as that.
Yeah. We're here to make those connections. And honestly, we kind of have to start there, because unless you've got God tier mode gaming on everything you touch, you ain't got much, so you're really, it's like Lady said, you're selling, and I'm watching Dana over here. She said the same
she's
thing.
Got it.
You have to be a community, which means, again, going back, it's on you to sell yourself,
Right.
And from what I've seen of Ram,
100% sells it.
Yeah, you've never missed a beat when I've come in. Within seconds, you're always, yo, what's up, Misfit?
Yeah, dude, and that is everything, right? I mean, and I feel like what you guys were talking about, there's two types of gamers. Your gamer, your skill gamer, or your community driven. And I also feel like there's two reasons people stream. People stream for either money or they stream for community. And to me, the way I stream, the way I talk on stream, the way I act, the way I carry myself is me. It is 100% Ram, online, offline, playing games, at work, with my family. I am me. I'm unapologetically me. And I'm not that great of a gamer. I just love gaming. Right. And to me, and one of the people in my Discord, Ultimate Alliance, one of the ones that me and two of my friends co-founded, I think one of the guys in the server had probably classified me best. He was like, Ram, you're like that guy at the bar that is just so chill and knows everybody and everybody just wants to talk to. And I'm like, you know what? I'm okay with that, because I want my stream to give that vibe. I want my stream to be welcoming, and I want everyone that pops in there, even if it's just 5 seconds, I want that person to walk away saying, you know what? He was pretty chill. Like, I can talk to that person. And that's what I want to give off. And if I'm gaming and chat just starts blowing up, I have no problem whatsoever pausing the game, stop the game, I'll hit my just chatting overlay, and I'll sit there and I will just talk for an hour or two. I don't care. Like, that game is not going anywhere. You know what I mean?
I think the first night I was in your stream, that's how you were.
Yeah.
And I was so impressed with the quality of content that you put out in the gaming, but also in the conversation. Like, you did not miss a beat on any of your platforms. You knew who was talking and you were engaged in every conversation. It was very wholesome and enjoyable to watch.
Well, and I appreciate that, and that's how I want everyone to feel, whether they pop in on live space or kick or what have you. I mean, I want every person to, you know, pop in there and feel like they're seen, they're heard, and they're cared about and they're appreciated, because I do. Anyone that pops in there and takes the time and the effort to type a message, I appreciate that, because ultimately, as a community variety streamer like me, whose goal is to build community, not monetary value, I just want to make new friendships and genuine connections with people that align with how I am, which is no toxicity, none of that toxic crap, like just genuine people that want to encourage and be kind to each other, be positive, and help each other out, because you two know, I mean, this industry is very very toxic and cutthroat.
Oh God.
It's brutal.
And that's just not me. That's not how I am as a person. It's not how I was brought up as a kid. That's just not me. I'm always going to treat everybody with respect, even if somebody comes into my chat and they're being, dumb about something. I'm going to politely tell them, hey, this isn't the stream for that. This isn't the channel for that. You're welcome to leave, but I'm not going to sit here and let somebody just pop in chat and just start cussing everybody out. But I think that streamers kind of like us, of being community driven and focused, is becoming less and less, and there's so many other streamers that are just balls to the wall and so hype and yelling and screaming and chat, give me all these subs and I'll take shots, or I'll do this crazy thing, or I'll do that crazy thing, or or so many subs will make me do this. And still to this day, I've never had a subathon. I've never had so many subs for this, that, and the other, because I don't expect them. I don't expect subs or money ever. I just want to hang out, and that's why I stream.
And unfortunately, I think that's what you see so much of lately, is everybody is about the money in the game.
But don't get me wrong, hold on. I don't want to sit on a soapbox here, because I will be the first to be greedy, and to a degree. Absolutely, I would love to be able to bring in enough subs and enough monetary, financial, be financially successful to that, where I could do this on a full-time basis. Okay, so I don't want to sit on a soapbox here, and I know Lady's got her mindset. She and I talk quite a bit, whether anybody will believe it or not. She's could care less. Loves it. She has no expectations of it. Me,
I don't see myself as being that person. You want this 100% full time.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not about to sit here, because I do have goals, however far down the road they are. Not even about to, to put myself in a light. I absolutely would love it. I'm never going to sit there, like you said, and be like, oh, give me subs so that way I can feel better about myself, or give me subs so that way, and I'm going to get myself shit-faced drunk on stream. I've done a couple of goofy ones where, like, oh, it's like a birthday stream, hey, for every, sub, I'll do a shot. Yeah, but I'm not doing this on a, so again, I'm not going to put myself in a holy light on that one. I've encouraged Lady to do some dumb shit, be like, oh, if you sub to her, she'll do this just for goofs and laughs and everything. Never thinking that, and nothing ever comes of it. Like, we get the occasional sub, but it's for us, it's for the laughs, and just because I love giving her a hard time and seeing her face go 10 shades of red, so
like right now.
But I want to come back to the money. I want to pick your brain, because I picked systems on this, and he had some good thoughts on it. Because we kind of diverted off of your content, so I want to kind of reroute it back to that. Do you have a schedule? I want to start that.
Usually it's kind of work dependent, unfortunately, but usually through the week, I stream from about 5 or 5:30 Eastern until about 9:30 or 10. but there are times because of work constraints and things that come up that I might have to miss a stream. Um, and then Saturdays and Sundays are kind of just if I can.
Okay. So it's pretty much if you can and as the mood strikes kind of.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you I can't, and I apologize if you mentioned this at the beginning. Do you have a family?
I do.
Okay, so you're married?
I am.
Okay. How does do you get support in your streaming from your spouse?
Yeah. Yeah, I think ultimately she's not a gamer at all. In
Okay.
fact, she is not a gamer or a nerd like me. So polar opposites on that end. But she does also know that this is really what I love to do, and gaming is my hobby, and my interest is I'm just a big nerd. It goes past gaming. I love anime. I mean, I'm a big nerd, and so she is just understanding that that is my passion, that's my interest, and so she's like, hey, if that's what you want to do and you enjoy it, go for it. So I'm very incredibly lucky in that regard that she's not a streamer, she's not a gamer, she's not anything like that, but she knows how much I love it, and it not to go into a whole different realm, but it helps with me um mentally, because streaming can definitely be a dual edged sword there as far as the mental aspect of it goes. But
Mm-hmm.
it's helped me. Streaming has helped me a lot, like with my PTSD and like my depression and anxiety from my experiences in life in the military and things like that. And streaming has really helped me kind of uh break that barrier to a degree, where it's kind of helped force me to kind of get out there a little bit more than I would like. But once I started streaming, I really, really found that I loved it. And then once I started meeting really awesome people, that I was kind of like, you know what, this is actually exciting because this is helping me. And so I've been really fortunate that like the wife has been like, hey, you enjoy doing it, so do it. It's totally fine.
Okay. So does she come into your streams? Is she a viewer for you, or does she just kind of sit back behind the scenes kind
She's like a total behind the scenes person.
she
And
just
and
has
that's
no interest
just
in it? Or
yeah,
okay.
that's what I was about to say. It's not that like she supports my streaming 100%. It's just gaming's not really her thing. It's just not her interest. Um, but I will say though, I can convince her from time to time to get on the Switch with our son and throw down on some Mario Kart.
That actually brings me
But
to my next question. But go ahead. You actually, I
that's
had
about
another
the
question ready.
extent of it, really.
Okay. So how old is your son? If you don't want to put that out there, I understand. But there's a point.
No, I don't mind. He's 9.
Okay. So, um, have you thought about like trying to like saying, hey, like this is like a long term goal for me? Like I want to see so where if this could go somewhere someday. Like you don't have to be like super specific. Like because this is a conversation I had to have with a lady at one point to kind of really get at least to back the idea to understand this is what I was going to do. Right? Because it took a little bit to get her behind it.
Mm-hmm.
And be like, one thing that, explain it to her, hey, one thing that would, help is maybe not every time, but just come in and just chat with me. Like, if she has like a laptop or a phone or a tablet or anything, or even her own desktop, hey, just
Yeah.
put up a tab and you can come in and chat with me and just kind of keep chatting active. And, it helps in this aspect. Have you ever had that conversation with her?
Um, realistically, I haven't,
Okay.
and I think that that's just been more so because of I think not necessarily just gaming, but I think just streaming in general, where it's not really her scene, her thing, and she
Okay.
doesn't really kind of get it, I guess, or understand it like maybe how we do,
Mhm.
because like the way like maybe you and I and Lady see it, in system and all these friends that we have is streaming is fun. It's a hobby, but sure, we would love to make something of it. Most of us,
Right.
and in my wife's mind, it's kind of like, well, that's your fun, that's your hobby, that's your interest, but like I have no interest in
Well,
that.
and the reason I bring it up is
Hey, I really appreciate that he lumped me in that category.
well, no, because I had no. It's not trying to paint it in a bad way. I was just using it as an example because I had to have the same conversation with Lady. I tried streaming.
He did.
When I started streaming, I started, before I learned what streaming really was, I was just pushing the broadcast button on my Xbox back when Mixer was a thing. So then when I understood what streaming really was about, getting the whole computer, hooking it up to your console and doing all that, then I was like, well, shit. Now I need somebody to talk to. So I had to explain it to her and say, here, sit down on your tablet, on your iPad. I think you had just an iPad at the time.
I think I had an iPad at the time.
Yeah, she didn't even have a
Because
computer at the time.
I didn't get my computer until like probably 3 or 4 months later.
Yeah, so she was always using her iPad or her phone to talk to me. But I said, just sit down and just talk to me. Just be part of the chat. You don't have to game, just be there. She was free to come and go as she needed to do things around the house or watch TV. Like half the time she was sitting in bed. Our setup was in the basement, right? Half the basement was our bedroom. The other half was streaming area.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And she was sitting on the bed just watching TV and just occasionally would chime in and just was kind of there. And then the more she did it, because she wasn't there, like she was there every night, but not really there. And then she slowly, it gradually, I think over the course of like the next 3-4 months, it pulled her in. And then to the point where she's like, I enjoy playing Minecraft. I've got my computer now. So I'm going to stream some Minecraft. Like she actually ended up streaming because I just kind of like said, hey, put up a tab for me and just chat as you.
But I'll tell you, I never picked up a controller and I never gamed until he started streaming 3 years ago.
Wow.
Never once had I picked up a controller. I wouldn't even game with my boys.
She's basically fossil fuel at this point, so.
Oh my God, shut the fuck up.
No, but no. I mean, the most she'd ever done is.
I'm 45 years old, so I'm halfway there.
The most she'd ever really done was, the Wii back when that was the big. And we're talking we're just talking like Wii golf and stuff like that, or Wii bowling. I'm sorry.
Oh, guys, if you ever do Wii and you've got little kids, please be careful. I broke my hand on a kid's head once.
Oh.
Good. We were bowling or playing tennis or something, and I knocked my 3-year-old in the head, and I broke my hand on her head.
Oh my goodness!
Some of the kid was okay. No cracked skull or nothing like that.
For her, it was me.
But going back to your content, so we talked a little bit about your schedule and your support system.
Do you game with your son?
Yes. There's even been a couple of times I've thought about, having him on stream with me. But I don't think he's still pretty shy. And so I'm just, I'm not going to be like, I'm not going to force him if he's shy. But now off stream, yeah, he and I will definitely we both have a Switch, and so we'll get together. We'll play Super Smash Brothers, Mario Kart.
Okay.
We'll play Pokemon together, and then oftentimes even off stream, if I'm just gaming, he'll come in here and hang out with me and play a game, and he'll talk to me while I'm playing and stuff, because he is very much like my kid. He is a gamer, and he's a little nerd himself. So basically, like in his eyes, what I do is like the coolest freaking thing. So. He's already told me his goal when he grows up is to be a streamer and a raver. So there you go.
A raver.
Yeah.
As in like the party scene raver?
Yeah, that's the way I took it.
I wonder if he's trying to say he's going to be a rager.
I don't know, because I've never seen him rage at a game before, ever.
Oh, jeez. Spend a couple nights with Lady when we play Valorant. Dear Jesus.
Yeah, I don't know if you're ready for it. Yeah, I think you've been lucky the few times you come through. I don't think you've seen it yet. But just say your blessings before you see it. That's all I can say.
I always feel for Lead because at my point, I'm like screaming at the screen.
What kind of game are you? I know you're a variety streamer, right? But what is your usual genre? Like, what's a go-to genre? Shooter, adventure, MMO, RPG? Like, what excites you when you sit down and say, okay, this is the kind of game I'm going to go buy? What are you usually gravitating?
I would say it's usually. I would say it's honestly probably RPG or horror. That's usually the two that I find myself playing most. I mean, I will play some shooters and stuff like, Helldivers. I haven't played Call of Duty and Fortnite in a long time. I used to play Valorant quite a bit back in the day, but I quit that because it would make me get very upset.
You have to have the right team.
Yeah, it
Not
is
even that.
rage
Like,
inducing.
I love the people that I play with. I got Lady and Sky and Drew comes through. I'm still like, if it doesn't go, I'm so competitive, it's unreal. And God bless my wife for putting up with my competitor because she knows, she can sense it. Like, and she'll make comments. I see her face, so I know she's got my stream up. Like she'll do something,
or I'll notice. I'll be like, "Damn, you're awfully quiet. Did you die over there or something?"
Yeah,
yeah, that's me.
Like I think that's just shooters. Yeah, like, and I'm one of the most competitive people, but to an extent, like once the game's over and the next one starts, it's wiping it. We tend to start over and hope for the next one to be better.
Yeah.
So horror and RPG. So when you say RPG, like what is a game that stands out in your mind?
I'm a huge fan of Final Fantasy. I've always loved the Final Fantasy games. And super stoked for the end of the month when Final Fantasy VII Rebirth comes out. But when it comes to RPGs, I don't get like super in depth with it. Like Final Fantasy, Persona, trying to think, obviously the past two Zeldas have been fantastic. Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom.
Yep.
And I grew up with Zelda. I still to this day, I absolutely adore the Ocarina of Time. I love that game so much.
Anybody who says that that's not the best one, I can't even talk to you. Like that's right.
That's just like, that's nostalgic for me because like, even though I grew up playing the NES with my brother, that was his system. So like, my very first system that was ever mine, my parents got it for me for Christmas, that like, it was Rams. Like nobody else was sharing this thing, and it was the N64 that came bundled with Super Mario 64.
Yep.
And I played that religiously. It was that and Mario Kart, Smash Brothers, GoldenEye, Donkey Kong 64, Ocarina of Time. Like the games on that system. Yes, the games on that system were just, they hit so hard. They were all so good.
Yeah, you always were excited if if you went to, like, if you didn't have the big TV, you took your console because you're trying to get your friends on there and you want the biggest screen possible.
Yep.
On Mario Kart, I think that was the one. Yeah, that was the one where I was notorious for screen peeking. That back when that was a big deal. I'd be looking at my brother's screen or my friend's screen, lining my card up and shooting my shells backwards or my bananas, lining up, and they'd be like so mad at me. But I think another timeless classic, and it's surfacing on Twitter, and I keep, there's a tweet, the GoldenEye 007. That one, oh god, and DK mode and slappers only is always going to go down as a classic for me as well. Just the big fat heads and body and arms, and you're just running around. The sounds that it made, like I remember those days.
I want to get the N64 controller that Nintendo just put out for the Switch, so that I can play GoldenEye on stream.
Oh god! And they did when they did the remastered, it just wasn't the same.
Yeah,
like it just didn't hit. It didn't hit.
I wish I knew what you guys were talking about.
It's
I do.
basically the game on Nintendo 64 that kind of birthed what shooters are now.
I'm laughing because my idea of a shooter is Pong from back on my Atari, when we were like 6.
I would dare say there would be no Valorant without GoldenEye back in the day.
Oh yeah.
Interesting.
The sword
Okay.
here, the NSO N64 controller. Oh god. Like
See,
those days,
I know to an extent what you're talking about, but I don't. You know what I mean? Like, I guess we're gonna have to take a trip down memory lane, and we're gonna have to, experience all of this.
well now and they like for people who can't, if you can't get your hands on it, or there's all kinds of emulators. Like I used to play, like I used to have the Ocarina of Time on an emulator on my PC, and I would just sit here and play it for hours and just like rerun the story over and over again. Like that's just how much I loved it.
Yep.
And then of course you could put all the cheats on there and unlock everything early and everything. But hell, I played the year after GameCube came out. Like I played it all the way up until Xbox released its very first console.
It's because it was a fantastic system.
Yeah.
So now here's the real question: when you guys play the game, if it has like, do you? So you're saying you play it multiple times?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I've never even finished a story game once. We're not going to even roll with this. Dana! Thank you.
Good games like that. And then Xbox. Oh, Dana, thank you so much for the subscription.
That's why I was like,
myself
thank you so much.
I was playing. Oh yeah, GameCube, and then they started tweaking the games for GameCube. Being another Nintendo system. Still, I can't. I gotta say, the N64 is just always like if you had to sit me down in front of it, always gonna be. Even now, but I'm a diehard Xbox fan. Over PlayStation, I know there's You're on PlayStation.
Yes, but I will say that and this may shock a lot of people that don't know me super, super well, but if I were to pick, just for nostalgic reasons and my upbringing, I would say Nintendo. I've always loved Mario and Zelda, Pokemon, Kirby, Donkey Kong. I mean, I could go on, and there's just so much nostalgia, and they just keep releasing games, even now for the Switch, that are just fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
But then as I got older, yeah, I was more of a PlayStation guy, but I did have an Xbox because I loved Halo and Gears of War.
Okay.
And so, like, Halo and Gears of War for me were like, that was like top tier. I loved them because you could play co-op, you could LAN party, and then you could eventually get online and play. But PlayStation, the thing that I always loved about them was their exclusives. And that's just because
I can't lie, they got some good ones.
PlayStation would put out some of the best damn story games that would just tell such a good story and be so much fun to play. But still to this day, even when we're talking multiplayer wise, I probably played more Halo than I did anything.
Yeah.
Okay, I lied. I did play one story game. I played Halo, the first one.
Halo Reach.
Yeah.
I got her.
Halo.
Yeah, we did it on PC though. She missed out on the early days of Halo when it first came out. The hardcore nostalgia like that.
The grind days.
Yeah, I remember when it came out. Like, I got lucky. My dad worked for my stepdad worked for Microsoft, so he got his Xbox, brought home an Xbox months before it actually went to market because of so a few months. Me and my brothers, everybody wanted to come to our house because we had the Xbox. We had Halo before it was out on the market. Nobody could get their hands on it. They had to come to us to be able to see it.
And then, that is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then my stepdad would let me play with him for a little bit, and then he stopped playing with me because I was better than him, and he couldn't handle it. So, And then there was one night, it was during the summer, my stepbrother and I, we stayed up late one night and we played it 24 hours straight. Put it on Legendary. We did a run straight through, didn't even get off of it. And we beating that in the first day, full day of the two of us doing co-op on it.
Oh man.
But so we could be here all day and talking about games and shit. But what's some high points in your streaming that stand out in your mind? Like, do you have any like specific moments that or incidents, whatever you want to call them, that stand out in your mind that are some of the high points of your streaming career?
I think that it would probably be, I would say the high point being looking at where I am now versus when I started.
Mm-hmm.
And I would take that whole collective experience that obviously, I'm still on that journey, but when I first started this, there was no way in my life that I thought a year and a half from then to this day that I would be streaming on, different platforms and have a following on those platforms and on Twitter, hitting 5K the other day, followers, which was that blew my mind when that happened.
That is amazing.
I got to work and I checked it and I was like, holy shit, where did that come from? But
I got your Twitter pulled up. I'm looking right now. I'll be honest, I didn't believe it to the point where I just pulled up your Twitter.
No, I'm crazy because like I struggled even. I don't even think I have 150 on Twitter.
I think to me,
like that's just crazy.
I think it all started last year when I think I had been streaming for maybe 6 months, and I was like, I would love a partnership or a sponsorship. Like I've never worked with anybody or any companies or anything, and I was like, I'm a big HyperX fan. I love their headsets. I love their peripherals, and I was like, I'm gonna try. I'm gonna apply for their partner program, and the worst they're gonna do is say no. So I didn't hear anything back for I don't even know how long, a long time. And I'd forgot about it. And then one day I get an email that's like, hey, you've been accepted into the partner program. This is your link for HyperX. And I was like, oh my God. Okay.
So what's your code on there then?
Well, I don't have a code through HyperX. I have a link through them.
Okay.
Well, you're going to have to share that link in Discord.
Yeah, I will. I for sure will. And so I was with them, and I'm still with them, but I guess it was probably back about the summertime, I get another email from HyperX, and this was a really cool experience. They were like, hey, we're going to send you the HyperX Cloud 3 headset to review and the new HP Omen 27K 4K monitor to review. And I was like,
wow.
I was like, oh, okay, well, what do I need to do? Like, what's the stipulations or whatever? They were like, oh, just put a short up on YouTube, that a review of each one, a YouTube short. And I was like, okay, I can do that. And then they were like, well, by the way, you can keep the products and we're going to pay you $100 for it.
What the fuck? Okay.
Whoa.
So I legitimately got to keep the headset, the monitor, and they paid me $100 for it. Wow. And all I had to do was a review. And they even sent me like this custom made HyperX thing that's got my name on it. And it was surreal because I and still to this day, even now, right now, I still feel like a nobody. You know what I mean? Like I'm not like this huge streamer.
But you're not a nobody.
Yeah, let me cut you off there because that right there should be motivation for a lot of people to be like, damn, a little bit of doing like it kind of disproves all the negativity about it. Because look at what you're saying. You've been streaming for a year and a half. You said towards the end of 2022. Right, so we'll say September, October, November, December, 4 months. Yeah, literally a year and a half because that's 4 months in 22. We're in February now, so January, February. That's 6 months, then the entire year. So a year and a half, right? You hit 5,000 on Twitter. You're hitting, you hit what?
20 to 30 in Kick a night.
Right. Over here on Livespace now. What are you looking at for a following on TikTok?
I think on TikTok I'm somewhere around 27 or 2,800 followers.
Ain't no way.
TikTok.
I'm gonna pick your brain now.
Yeah, hold on. We'll get to that. And then on YouTube, what would you say? Like, you don't have to go in, but about where do you think you're at on?
Well, YouTube's an interesting story actually. On YouTube, my old channel, I ended up making partner over there, and
wow.
I got up to around 4,000 subs, and then I decided, because at that point, like, that channel was dying because it was an old channel. I think it was created back in like 2014 or something like that. And I had like a bunch of old clips on there that I had like uploaded from the PS4 back in the day, like when you could select a clip and then just upload it to YouTube. And so I had like dozens and dozens of videos, and then I was trying to stream and do new content on top of that. And it got to a point where I don't know if it was like the algorithm, I don't know if it was like the whole SEO stuff, but whenever I tried to come back to streaming on YouTube, like after being on like say Twitch and Kick for a while, and when I tried to multi-stream on YouTube, it was done. Like, it was dead. There were nobody that came to those streams, and then it kind of died off because I had neglected it for a couple of months. And so I thought, you know what? I'm going to delete this channel and I'm going to start over brand new. And that's what I did. I deleted that channel and started over brand new in, I think, October. So 4 months roughly. And I'm at like 170 something subscribers.
So I want to cut in here. So, because you kind of you just right there alone, like you just kind of proved my point. Like,
you proved our point.
Yeah. So I'm gonna touch on the YouTube here first, because I want to use myself as a comparison. Right. I've had my YouTube channel for a little while now, and I've used it off and on. I haven't stuck with it like I should, like to really put the work into it to get it to a point where I could get it to. And I know that I'm the one holding myself back on it. I don't put enough shorts on there. I don't. There's so much more that I know I could put into it and actually see it go somewhere. I got to do better, right? So let's take your numbers. We're gonna just average out about, from Twitter to streaming to TikTok and all that. Let's just say half your Twitter followers are also following you in some capacity on a streaming platform. In a year and a half, you've amassed 2,500 followers, right? On average, you have a partnership with a very relatively high-profile gaming equipment company, and all that in a year and a half. Whereas somebody like me, who, from a multitude of reasons, but mostly due to lack of hard enough work from me and staying focused and getting where I know I could be if I'd done the same, I am nowhere even close to hitting that. Like, so you literally just knocked out all of the arguments by your story. Like, I get it, not everybody's you, but listening to what you said, you're networking, you're engaging, your streams, not to knock on your streams or anything, but your streams are no different than what anybody else's, like from people who are just gaming and talking with people and doing all the same stuff. It's all there. It's a matter of you just kept going. You literally it's one day after another and after another, and you just got to where you got because you put in the time, you put in the work, and look at what it's amassed. You literally, you knocked it all out. People can't blame the viewership, because your viewership on average, we'll take your Kick. You said between, we'll say 15 to 30 on a high estimate, right? But you're still amassing a large following. And in time, you'll get the viewership will go up in time, no matter of when. But you've gotten it, you've done it. You've got the numbers to prove that people can do it. Like, that's, I just wanted to throw that out there.
You're sitting where we have been striving to get for 3 years.
I can't even say that, because striving, we've taken time off, we've had our issues, we've done
We've had to rebrand.
We're done for various reasons. Nowhere near that. Your story is proof of anybody can get there, and it's not to say
if
that
you put the work in.
Yeah, and that's the thing, is it's about how you stay on it, get in there. You even said you stream, part of your streaming schedule is when the mood strikes. You don't have like a rigid, set in stone schedule. It depends on certain factors. You know? So you can knock out the lack of schedule. You can knock out this, that, or the other. Like all the arguments pretty much go out the window. It's pretty much.
And I think that like it's all
system nails it on the head. It's the work you put into it.
Yeah, and that's the thing too, and that's where I would caution somebody that's getting into streaming, is yes, you want to put in that work. Yes, you want to network. You want to make friendships. You want to make, and let me also be clear. Like when I say network, I'm not talking about follow for follow, support for support type of deal, because that just never works. That will fail 10 out of 10 times. I'm saying like when you like network with real people, genuine people, and you make those friendships, those people will always be there if they're real, genuine friends of yours. And I think for me, I never thought that like any of this would happen with, the followings or HyperX, but back in December, I was able to become an affiliate with F3 Energy, and I never thought that I would be with an energy drink company, but they have been absolutely incredible to me. And then the next thing I know, I thought, well, I'm going to apply for an affiliate program with Meta PCs, and I didn't think I would get it, because they've got like 100,000 followers on TikTok or Twitter. I was like, that they got some big name people. They got Oompaville, and they got some big YouTubers and streamers with them. I was like, but I love what they stand for, and I love what they build. It is gorgeous. And I applied, and then sometime later they reached out to me on Twitter, and they were like, hey, we would love for you to be a part of our affiliate program. And so I feel like, and please, to you too, and anybody in chat listening, please don't ever think that I'm being like conceited or arrogant or anything, because I'm not. I just,
God, no.
I just feel like I really and truly have worked my ass off, sometimes to the detriment of my mental health, and I'll get to that in a sec. But to be able to say within a year and a half, I'm at the point where I'm at with the followings and HyperX and F3 and Meta PCs, and I actually have another announcement coming very, very, very soon. Hopefully tomorrow, with a new company that is reached out to me to partner with them, that is not energy or PC or gaming hardware, but merch related. And I feel like I've worked so hard to try and get it, but my caution to anyone getting into streaming is about the burnout, because the burnout is a very, very real thing. And if you are someone like me that already struggles with mental health and PTSD and depression and stuff, that's why I said earlier, streaming is a dual-edged sword, because on the days where the stream is popping, it's going, man, and you're feeling great and you're having a blast. But on those days where the stream isn't, those can be really low lows. When you look and you see, well, I don't have a single person watching the stream today. Nobody is talking. It's easy to get in your head and be like,
so can I call you out? Not about I'll call you out, but like, can I call you? Because there's time. It was what it was. I think it was about a week. You were having a. I mean this is no way disrespectful or negative. So forgive me if you were having one of those. You made a point to that.
Yeah.
Like I said, I don't mean to put it in a negative light, but you even with the success that you have had so far, we're still having moments. We'll call it moments where you're hitting those kind of mindsets.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I think that as a streamer and content creator, right? I think that's a daily battle. At least for me, it is. Because I think the reason why it's a daily battle for me is because I'm too hard on myself a lot of times. I expect too much of myself. And so it's like I'm by all means super, super proud of like where I'm at, obviously. But in my mind, it's just like I want I want to do more. And it's not a monetary thing, like I said, I just want to build an awesome community. And I'm not a very patient person. So that works against me oftentimes.
Who does he sound like?
But I just want to build a community, I want to build a
Oh.
community where everybody can be there for each other, good or bad. I want it to be a community where everybody can talk, game together, support each other, and it be real support. I'm not talking about like this, hey, I'm always lurking in your streams, or I gifted this X amount of subs and you haven't done the
Mhm.
same for me. I'm not talking about that kind of support. I'm talking about just like, oh, I see Misfits live. Oh, I see Ladies live. I see System is live. I see whoever's live. I'm going to go in there and hang out with them. Why? Because they're my friend and I want to support them.
And that's the way it should be.
It is the
Mhm.
way it should be. And unfortunately, it is becoming harder and harder to find genuine people like that. But it's and I see Systems comment there about not looking at the numbers, and I tell you, I've had System tell me, I've had
Lady.
and System's going to know these guys, but Speed and Delta and a lot of these guys that I co-created the Discord with, like, they tell me all the time, brother, don't look at the numbers, don't get in your head, just stream and have fun. And when I can do that, man, I have a blast. I have an absolute blast. But when I get in my head and I look at the numbers and I'm like, for example, I'll look and say, "Oh damn, I lost a follower on Kick, or I lost a follower on Twitch, or there's
Mhm.
there's not only did I lose a follower, but there's 5 people watching right now and nobody's talking and I'm just talking to myself." So that's when I get in my head and I'm like, well, I must be boring because nobody wants to, and so I start spinning these things in there and then it just
Oh, it's easy
it
to go down the rabbit hole. Lady does that
dude,
all
I
the
do
time.
it all the time. He has to pull me out of the rabbit hole at least once a week.
yep.
At least. Because
I
I literally have to cover my numbers up so that I cannot see them while I stream, because if I can see them, I get discouraged, and you can see it on my face, you can feel it in the stream,
yep.
so I have to cover them and I cannot see them.
Because it will affect you,
Mhm,
and then in turn it will affect every aspect of your life. It will affect your stream, and it will affect your attitude and how you're behaving, but then it affects, like for me, it affects my mental health after stream. Like I
mhm,
get done with stream and I shut everything down and I'm like, well, I'm just in a shit mood now. Like what am I doing wrong? Um, and the hardest thing for me is to not get in my head, because like the burnout is real, mental health is real, and when you combine those two, it can be a really, really, really dangerous road to go down. And I've definitely been there.
mhm,
But that's when you fall back though on that genuine friendships and community that you have made, that are there to kind of pick you up and be like, listen, it may feel this way, but it's not this way. Like
Mhm.
you've got a lot of friends, you've got a lot of support, you got a lot of family, you got a lot of love that are there um to be your support to fall back on. And I feel like when you don't have that is when you see people that ultimately just stop streaming or just quit altogether or just
mhm.
get in a much worse state of
Now,
mind.
See, Dana brought up a very valid point. When you get used to the idea that there's nobody there, you do start to stop looking. You do start to kind of get to that point where you're like, okay, well, nobody's here. I'm just going to get into the game. And then you get into the game. And then when you finally do look over, you've missed that opportunity because that person was there and you didn't see it. We've all
Yeah.
done it.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, shit, how long have you been here? Did I, and then
I
you're
did
like
that just the other day.
apologizing.
I have a good friend.
Yeah.
She comes by my YouTube channel. This is one of the reasons why I had to scale back the multi-stream. She was coming in. I think it happened almost three streams in a row. I forgot to check my YouTube chat and I wasn't paying attention. The window had closed, not closed, but it was minimized for the pop-out chat, and I missed it. And I felt so bad. Like it got in my head, and I had to really drag myself out of it. But because then of course what's like shit, that's a missed opportunity, and suddenly you're fighting in your own head. It's like, well shit, now they're gonna think I suck, they're not gonna want to come back. And if they're a friend like she is, then it's even more so like, oh crap, I don't want to screw that up. And
Yeah.
Now she thinks I was ignoring her. Oh, the rabbit hole that
I get there all the time too. The biggest thing that I would say, and because I'm watching chat on my screen with Dana and System talking, the hardest part, it's training your mind to think of multiple things. A, I gotta keep an eye on chat. B, I got to not look at the numbers. How do I look at chat and not think about the numbers because my chat's empty? So, and Dana brought up probably the best point that every streamer needs to be looking at. This is something that everybody, no matter how big or small, should be looking at, is to get that extra viewer, to get your numbers up. Where can I find that viewer that is not a streamer? Because the biggest, and this is something Lady and I battle on all the time, and I say battle because she does this to me on a regular basis. Nobody's coming by my stream. I show support to these people, and I'm not seeing them. And it's not anybody in particular. It's just
nope. It's me in my head.
Yeah.
And I have to. And this is where I've gotten a lot better. I'm not perfect at this, but it's a reminder to her, but it's also for myself. Ram's a streamer. Dana's now streaming again too. System's a streamer. Soar's a streamer. Glazzy's a streamer, and I'm just pulling names out of my chat.
We just got Sky streaming.
Yeah, she was a viewer and not a streamer, but we convinced her to turn her stream on. So now she's streaming, which now is taking from our views. And Sky, if you're listening, I don't mean this in any way bad, but we just lost a dedicated viewer. Well, she might have a tab up. It's no longer that little bit of chat coming through.
It's not the active tab that it was.
So that is the hardest thing, is that how do you get streamers to say, like, think about it. You're basically asking streamers to say, let me ignore my stream. Let me ignore the people that I support and are supporting me so I can come and watch this. Like, it's not easy because it's like, well, shit. It's a battle in your mind to think, fuck, what do I do? How do I keep myself out of that negative? Like, how do I, like, and then when you said, what am I doing wrong? It's not that you're doing anything wrong. It's you're battling everybody doing the thing. Like, when it comes down to content as community streamers, System and I talked about this. We talked about this when we did his interview, when we sat down with him, is there is nothing unique about your stream except for you, because it's you. You have to, this is where we get into the whole, you have to sell yourself, right?
Yeah.
Because everybody's gaming, everybody's playing shooters, everybody's doing cosplays, everybody's doing subathons, everybody's doing reaction streams or, clickbait streams. Like, you can't come up with something that isn't already be done. There's already cooking streams and crafting streams and music streams. Like, it's all out there. Every form of content you could think of, other than sacrificing, goats on stream to the whatever pagan god you worship. I'm sure on some platform it's out there. Okay, so
probably,
yeah, it wouldn't surprise me at this day and age. It wouldn't. So what makes it unique is you You have to, we all talk about this. You have to be, and Dana is a hardcore advocate of this, and I'm going to call her out. And Dana, I see your comments here. Bear with me here for a second. Dana, and she's just been a big advocate of, I'm me. If you don't like that, go fuck yourself. Yeah, not literally. Actually,
I need that attitude.
I think she has said that literally, but I can't.
She has.
Okay, I was right. So she literally says, "You don't like me for me, go fuck yourself." Clausy, I see your comment there. There's titties on stream. Don't even get me wrong. Stepping on your kids' Lego shoes. Nope, I've seen those as well. I've seen yard gardening streams. I have seen every form of content that I can imagine. Hell, there's even been Twitch streams where people were having sex on stream, whether they realized it or not. There's sex on streams. There's hot tub streams. There's guys in hot tub streams. Like, you can't make content about the content. It's how you put, and Ram and everybody has said this, and I've seen the comments and I've seen or heard you, Ram. It's about how you put your personality, how you put yourself into that content. You provide the unique aspect to it, because there is no other Ram out there. There's no other Dana out there. There's no lady out there. There's no lead out there. You're one of a kind.
And I think
so.
That's
the originality is you. You make it you, and however you approach it, because it's you. It's your personality. It's your life experiences you're engaging with. It's your attitude towards somebody coming in. So that's what it is. That's what you're selling. So that's where, I heard somebody say this one time, what was it? YouTube video. They're like, bring your family members in. That's why I ask, what about your wife or your husband or, your support system behind it? That's why I'm glad that I got Lady at least to turn on a stream, because now she's here. You have to, Dana's hit the nail on the head. The biggest way to help yourself out is find those views that are viewed. Heard Todd say that, where you have to focus, you have to figure out how to bring viewers, because you can't survive on streamers alone unless you put a lot, like you said, Ram, a lot of time, a lot of dedication into it. I'm going to twist your numbers into a more negative aspect. You have 5,000 followers on Twitter, but you don't have 5,000 people talking in your stream.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's a matter of, how do you divert those 5,000 followers to go from, let's say those 5,000 followers are all in Dana stream. How do you convince 5,000 people to say, fuck you, Dana, we're going to Ram, so like that's the struggle. That's the battle that you have to come up with. And so that's the hard part to remember, is you're battling against millions of other streamers. I think I saw a report that said there's 3 million streamers at any given point in time on just Twitch alone.
Yeah.
Well, think about how many content creators you have across every platform now, whether it's Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, Livespace. The platforms just keep coming. And the thing that you come down to now is the only way to get yourself out there and to make anything for you is to find you and sell you, because there's millions and millions of people that make money online every day, or create their own content every day.
Let me put that put that in perspective for you, lady. I pulled it up right here. Creator profile statistics. First thing that pops up when you Google this: there are more than 45 million professional content creators in the world's creator economy.
Jesus.
They call that prostitution, lady. Oh my God.
45 million. You're battling. So Graham, you're battling 44.999. What is it? 999,999 other people. That's the battle that we all face.
That's some stiff odds.
But I mean, if you think about it, so many people make it work every day.
Absolutely.
But it comes down to how much. Like, you look at these people on TikTok, the only reason their stuff is so great is because they post 10, 12 times a day. They read algorithms,
It's about the work. It comes back to what we keep saying. You have to put the work in to put it out there. Get to that point. and to dive a little bit deeper into the statistics, can't even say that that men have an uphill battle because women. I look at it this way: there are 52% of women of the content creators in the world are women. So that is more than half of your, for, let's say, I want to use Lady and Dana. They have to battle slightly more people because there are that many more women doing.
Yeah.
Not to mention the sexual stereotypes that come with women and content creators. Not to mention the negative attitudes that you see a lot of female streamers putting out there towards men, other female creators, just in general.
The hate shame, the weight shame,
or the fact that you have how many hot tub streamers out there. It's a battle in some way, shape, or form, and it's up to you. And I'm not discrediting anything that you said because I have been watching. It's a battle.
49% of those are titty streamers, right? I think a lot of it comes down to is your personality could sell you a million times over, but here's the question: as a woman, does your looks play the part into it, or is it just the personality that brings the people back? That is the real question that women content creators fight every day.
Well, it's not just that, but when you're battling other women, just in general, okay, you're a female, so you have a certain level of attraction because guys, men, I love you, but this is generally saying men are pigs. They see a woman, and a lot of them first thought, oh look, here's a female I can go and talk to.
Yeah.
Not saying any of the guys here or that. I'm making this clear. This is just a general statement. So they already got a battle with that. Men already got a battle with that because unfortunately I don't got tits. Ram, you're a beautiful man. System, you're a beautiful dude. But y'all don't got tits either. So you already lose on that aspect. You're losing out on the horny guys already. Okay, so you've already lost them. What?
Hold on. If you are the right man and you have man tits, you're gonna find the right woman that's gonna come in and ogle you. I guarantee it.
We call those pecs.
No. I'm talking the ones who have tits that would fit in a bra. I guarantee you. You find the right woman, she's going to come in and ogle the shit out of you.
There's a fetish for everybody.
That's my point.
So, Ram, how old did you say you were? I'm sorry.
I'm 34.
34. Okay.
So
that's what I thought. I just wanted to clarify for what I'm about to read. So, there was a survey done not too long ago. I'm reading this. 30% of just the surveyed people alone are 18 to 24 years. Okay. 40% are 25 to 34 content creators.
Dang.
So there is almost half your base right there is the same age group. And you and I, because I'm 34 as well, you and I are at the top end of that half of those people.
Yep.
Where does that put me then?
That's 70. That's another 30% or 34. So we're in the low end. You're in the low end of the numbers. Ram and I are about to be System and Soars. I see you guys in here. Let me know how old y'all are. But just to put numbers in perspective a little bit more, that's the uphill battle that you're facing when you become a content creator, trying to make something.
See, that's pathetic to think that at my age that I would be on the lower end. But I mean, if you think about it, I guess that's the case. They figure we probably made our money when we were at your age.
So Source says he's 36. System is 39. So y'all are already outside that high-end group. So, okay, I'm looking at, here's another updated statistic. 2023, there were, and this is very broad because it says that just considering people who just videos classify themselves as a content. There are over 200 million content creators as of November 2023. 200 million people.
Jeez.
It takes content creators an average of 6.5 months to earn their first dollar. 6.5 months to make their first dollar. 10% of influencers earn 100K or more per year. As of 2023, the global influencer market, when they mean content creators, valued to be a $21.1 billion industry.
Mm-hmm.
But only 10% of those people make 100K. Now you got to figure that, or more, right? So 10%, we're talking 20 million are making more than 100K. So I mean, there's hope for it, right? 20 million people can do it. But that means
So look at it this way.
180 million people are making less than that, meaning, they're probably making hundreds of dollars.
Yeah.
So if you look at it this way, and I don't know, you
As far as it's
guys
all you can do.
don't pay attention to like makeup and shit like that because you guys are guys. But there is one chick that I watch on TikTok and they broke down what her net worth is for the year based off of how TikTok pays out. And it's how TikTok pays out all their content creators. And this isn't including her deals.
And I'm
This is
going back
just
through
her
it and I'm reading your
TikTok
comments right
time
now so I
with
can, because
2.5
there's something
million
you said.
followers. She brings in about $650,000 a year from TikTok. Just TikTok. That doesn't include Instagram, any licensing deals, anything else she does, but that's just TikTok.
Crazy.
And it took her almost 7.5 years to get there. Because she started doing it when she was like 18, 19 in college. And
It's all about the
she's,
work.
yeah. And I mean, if you think about it, she supports her husband. Like they travel the world. She does makeup deals. They go everywhere. Like it's possible, but you got to be willing. It's the grind for any content creator.
Yeah.
Okay, so I want to put you on the spot, put you in the. I'm going to read. I was reading back through comments. So System put in there that when he was on Twitch, he was supporting about 20 to 30 people on average, and he was getting maybe at best 2 to 3 funding back to him in some capacity, showing support. He's saying that he felt like it was a lot. What would you say to him in an aspect like that?
Well, I think it's different for each person, like depending on the circumstances, because obviously I don't know the people that System was supporting, but over the time, me personally, that I have, I've met people and supported people, and and I've had people kind of really, I've had people use me, honestly. And because I'm a wear my heart on my sleeve kind of guy. I mean, what you see is what you get. I'm a caring person, and there were times where I definitely did support other people, and I was in their streams, and I would give subs because I really, not that I wanted them to do the same for me, or I expected the same. It was, I thought that they were my friend. They were
You
in the
thought it was
Discord.
genuine.
Yeah, they were in the Discord. They were talking. They would come by the stream every now and again, and then all of a sudden, and they would, leave the Discord, stop talking to me, not come by the stream, block me, whatever the case is. And it's just like, well, then you realize, well, I was just getting used to get, money on their end, subs, or they were trying to get followers. And that's kind of when I realized early on that this industry is super, super toxic and selfish, and people will do any cutthroat thing that they can to get ahead. And I've had to be a lot more selective of who I kind of surround myself with and who I support, because it's not so much that I ever expect anything in return, because I don't. And System can tell you, System been around for a long time with me. I don't expect anything in return. I don't expect subs, money, anything like that. It's just the thing that when you feel like you're giving 110% to someone that you truly think and feel is a friend of yours, all to just not get that back, it hurts. Like, it's like, well, you couldn't even just be my friend back, and just at least come say hello. So I think that I've gotten to a point now that, as I've gotten into this a year and a half, I've gotten to a point now where it's just like, if I'm supporting people that I feel are genuine friends, then if they never come by my stream, then it is what it is. I would dare say that I kind of slow back my support of that person, because like, if I'm coming to somebody's stream all the time and I'm saying hello and engaging with them, and they like, if I do that for a whole month and then they never come say hello to me, not even just hello, then I'm probably going to stop like going to their stream as much, if that makes sense. Not to be a dick, it's just I would rather go support other people that are always in my streams versus trying to make time and effort to go to this other person's stream that's never come to mine.
Okay, so I want to ask this: is that if what about if you enjoy the content but not getting support back? So like, say I'm gonna pose a hypothetical. Let's say
Me as an example.
no. Okay, yeah, we'll use Lady. We'll put her on. Let's say you enjoy Lady's content, right? She's got great streams, good content, all around, just engaging, entertaining. She makes you laugh, she makes you feel good. You just enjoy it. All good times, right? The lady, we'll say, once a month comes by your stream, right? Do you stop going to?
No.
Okay, so as long as the content's good, you would still be there. But if it's it depends on the circumstances.
Yeah, I think circumstances play a big role in it. But I think if you find a streamer that you connect with and you really, really enjoy their streams and their content, and they really seem like a genuine person, then yeah, I mean, if they come by my stream like once in a month, dude, I'm fine with that. Like, because it's so hard to find rare
Genuine
streamers that you can just connect with. So yeah, I mean, in an instance like that, no, I wouldn't even think twice about it.
And it's hard because, like, I think back to listen to this. I think back to time. It makes me miss the mixer days. Yeah, there was toxic shit, but I think back to a night where I was a mid-April, babe. You know the story.
I do.
Wasn't feeling like I was getting the support back that I was putting out, and I was everywhere. This was back when Mixer was allowing you to put up 20, 30 tabs and everybody was getting credit for it. I was everywhere trying to do this, trying to do that. I felt like I wasn't getting it in return. But I got into a point I was like, you know what? It doesn't pick up this stream. I'm like, I'm going to go. I told Samantha, the lady, I was going to go live. I'm like, I'm going to go live. And if it doesn't go anywhere, then I'm done. Because why should I keep putting time into? I'm not really seeing anything. And I think I got into about 45 minutes in, give or take. And I sent her a text real quick, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to end it. Pretty much my done deal. You know, it's time to call it quits. Next thing I know, I got raided. And another raid. Third raid. All back to back to back. And
I think by the time we finished, there was a good 45, 50 people in there.
And the thing that stood out to me, the thing that makes me the kind of like I always have to draw myself. I use this as a reminder for myself because I get in those. Is just because you don't always think whether the people notice comments that were out there is you're a great guy, you're supporting us. You know, we haven't come to support you in a bit. You know, there were people actually owning that and publicly acknowledging that. And and saying that we wanted to come and show you something because we saw that you were live, and you didn't say anything. That was the thing that people were on my ass about. You didn't tell anybody you were going live. You were just live. We happened to notice it, so we wanted to come in and show you some love. You know,
and we were specifically very clear about that.
Yeah, that was the point. But I wanted to see who actually noticed. I never. I hope one or two people. Like if one or two people had shown up, awesome. That's all I wanted. But to have that many people say, now we see him, let's go show him some love, you know, just randomly, like out of everybody they could have picked, because two of them that rated me, they had followers, you know, their chats were popping with like 50 to 75 people at a time, you know?
Yeah.
So that to me is huge, and that's something that I always fall back on. You know, it's an old washed recycled story for me, but it's something I fall back on and I remind Lady about is you never know who notices. You never know, you know.
I
Um,
remember that night very clearly. We were
I
both
mean,
in tears. It
I
was a
really was.
crazy night.
I was crying. I was bawling like a baby because I was
Mhm.
just so like overwhelmed with like, damn, I thought nobody gave two fucks about me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Yep.
And
That story alone still gets me because of how much of a low he was in, and to
Yeah.
know that he was at that point where he was just like, "We're done. I don't wanna waste my time anymore."
mhm. So I
It,
mean, it's hard. It's hard when we talk about support and getting support back, you know,
Mhm.
because there are times even now, you know, um, I'm like, damn, I feel like I should be getting more support, but at the same time, it's like, you know, I have to rein myself in. It's the same conversation we tell everybody else. It's the same conversation I've had with Lady on multiple occasions.
Mhm.
You know, what's the right line to walk? Draw the line. What's the right way that doesn't make you look like the selfish asshole? You know, but at
yeah.
times, I think that's where I've noticed that streaming and content creation has changed so much. Like, because if you do what you guys are saying, I'm reading chat, I'm here, where you try to look out for your mental health and build your positive community, you know, you've got that right support circle around you. In some way, you're considered a selfish asshole. Like, how dare you do something like that? How dare you think about yourself? You know, and
Yeah.
I'm still guilty to this day where I look at some of these people commenting from a place of two ways. I get it, but at the same time, I don't get it because I see it, I analyze it both ways now. So it's like, what's right and wrong? How do you know what's genuine, as Dana put in, genuine friendship and genuine loyalty?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Back in the day, I was notorious for, like, I was just as bad when I was trying to get somewhere. I was trying to make connections and friends because there were people I was meeting that I enjoyed their stream. But then there were some people, yes, I enjoyed their content and everything, and I'm going to raise my hand and call myself out. I was also looking at, oh, this person's a partner streamer. I love their content, but let me be here a little bit more. Dude, in the back of my mind, maybe it'll pay off and I'll get noticed. You know,
Yeah.
I'm be honest, that was me to a point now. I don't go near a partner stream because I just want to engage with this. I don't give a shit how big they are. Like, I'm looking for people that want to have a conversation with me just because I want to have a conversation. You know, that's one of
Yeah.
the things that I've loved here about live space is you said it at the beginning, Ram. People here want to talk. You know,
Mhm.
Yeah.
they
For
don't.
sure.
I've seen countless times people come in and be like, "Shit, you know, sorry, you know, ladies, one of these people." But I've seen Just Joker. I've seen System doing it. I've seen you pop in for a minute, and be like, "Hey, I really want to talk. Can't right now, but I'm here." And
Yeah.
then I've seen you do this, Ram, in people's chat. You've disappeared for a little bit, and then you come back. All right, let's talk.
Yeah.
You know,
Mhm.
that's the effort that I feel gets missed on anybody from with less than 20 viewers is because you know you don't see once the viewership goes up you don't really have so much to worry about on that because that's when people are really starting to put more of a focus into making sure their content is at its peak. But the low viewership people, you don't see that a whole lot. You don't see that energy going into it. You don't see what you guys are doing. You know,
Yeah.
hell, I'll use McLaughlin as an example. This dude streams, and then he come half the time he'll come into my stream, and he'll sit here till 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, and
And bullshit with us.
uh,
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
yeah,
Where it's like Pyro. Well, we've got this one guy, no matter what platform we have been on, he has followed us everywhere we've been. He is so freaking loyal. He is one of those ones that we could say tomorrow, this is where we're going, this is where we're going to be full time, and he'd be there. No questions asked. It's for us.
That is so awesome.
getting back on topic here. What is a low point this thing? What is like a dark time? You talk about how you have PTSD, and I want to, if you're okay with talking about that, I would like. We, but like, what is a low point that really hits your mental health that stands out?
I think it would probably be. I think it would probably honestly be whenever I would say even it's been very recently. I would say it's probably been within the past couple of months where there was a span there where I just I just didn't get. I felt like my streams were just bad. I felt like I was a failure. Like there was nobody there, like talking at all. And I would ask a question to chat, and I would look on Kick, and I'd have like 15, 20 so viewers there, but nobody would answer like my chat or anything. And I was just like, okay. And then all of a sudden, it was just like that number started to dwindle down. I lost a few followers, and this was all happening like real time on stream.
Mhm.
And this was after probably like 2, 3, maybe even 4 streams that were just bad. They were just not good streams because you're gonna have those. And and I just felt like on all the platforms, there was nothing. There was nobody, and I was just like, okay, don't let it get in your head. Don't let it get in your head. And then it just did. And I think it was more so of the build up to that point where it was just bad stream, bad stream, bad stream, and then that one was like the fourth or fifth one in a row, and that I hit a real low point that night. I was basically along the lines of, you know what, fuck it, I'm done. I'm throwing in the towel because I can't even get anybody to talk to me or let alone
Mhm.
actually watch. And I hit a low point. I took about 8 I think I took right around 8 days off where I not only didn't stream for 8 days, I took like a big break. I was very scarcely in Discord or Twitter or anything. I tried to disconnect. I tried to totally um unplug, if you will. I just tried to take the power cord out and power down and just get away from socials, get away from streaming, get away from everything to do with it, and just say, let me see what happens. And after about a week, I really was missing it. I was missing streaming. I was missing the community. Um, and it just got to a point where I was like, you know what? I really want to come back. I miss everybody, and I'm going to come back. I'm going to stream. Kind of had a renewed focus a little bit, and was like, you know what? Hey, I'm going to stream. I'm going to play this game, whatever it was. I don't even remember, and I'm going to have fun. And whoever shows up, shows up. And that's how I started the stream that night. And I would say that's honestly probably the lowest, and I think that it was just because I'm real bad to put a really, really high expectation on myself, and if I don't meet that, then I'm really bad to just kind of crash out. Um, and that's an area where I'm really trying to focus extra heavy on and really pay attention to because I hate feeling that way. It's not fun at all. So I think that if I'm able to just continue to try and stay positive and not number watch, that's going to be the biggest thing for me.
Yeah, I see System kind of vouching for. I would come in and hang with Ram like always, but I saw his face, and I knew he was upset, but I could see the hurt in him, and so you have people who see the good in you,
Mhm.
or like or basically calling it out, same way that that you're saying. Um, gonna kind of put you on the spot here a little bit, just a little bit more to the point that you're making. I was scrolling through your Twitter here, and I seen a couple of tweets just going back as far as Thanksgiving. I see people unfollow. Streams are not as I'm going to paraphrase here. Streams are not up to par or where I'd like them to be, and then it looks like you going through back around Thanksgiving. Something happened that you had people decided to just hit you with an unfollow spree, and I don't know. I'm not sure what the mindset here is, so I don't want to words you. It's just seems like some people love to take advantage. It kind of goes with what the comments we were getting here and what we've been talking about. Love to take advantage of that for their own gain and then just unfollow once they're done. It sucks, especially when it's people you really thought were friends and supported you. So how do you combat through that? Because you're saying that you've got PTSD and depression and everything. How do you keep your head above the water on that? Because there's plenty of people who struggle with combating stuff like that. And I don't know, Dana, I apologize if I'm off the mark here, but it seems like Dana might be one of those people based on just some of the way, a little bit of the way she's talking. She sounds like she gets frustrated. How did you push through that? How did you say, you know what, fuck it, I'm still here just because you all don't want to support me? How did you keep your head above water?
I think, and I remember that tweet vividly. I remember exactly what it was over. It was over 2 people, which will remain anonymous, but they were people that had kind of been associated with me for a long time, several months, and I really, really thought they were friends of mine. They were in the Discord at one point. They were in stream chats a lot, and they would engage and stuff during stream. And I would always be like, hey, if you see somebody in chat that you don't know, make sure you follow them, get to know them, grow the community. And then I started noticing that like those people weren't really showing up anymore, and then the next thing I know, they just randomly left the Discord. Dana. And I was like, well, okay. And then me being me, I wanted to make sure like nothing had happened or that nothing was said or done that upset them, and so I tried to reach out to them, and I was blocked.
Mm-hmm.
So I was kind of like, well, okay, well,
we had somebody do that to us not too long, a few months back.
Done, and that was at that time. It was after a bunch of people had went and followed them, and I had gifted subs and stuff, and so when they left and blocked and then unfollowed me on all the platforms and blocked me on Twitter and stuff, it was kind of like, well, okay, that really sucks. And then it just kind of got to a point where I noticed that I just had less followers on all platforms than I did when I looked the last time. And so it just kind of all snowballed that day. And I just put that tweet out, and I was just like, I know I'm a really chill, laid back guy, and I'm a nice person, and I wear my heart on my sleeve, and I'm a very giving person. Like I'll try and help anybody if I can. Mm-hmm. But when it gets to a point where I just felt like I was being taken advantage of to get followers or subs or clout or recognition or something, and then just get blocked, I was kind of like, well, that really fucking hurts. That doesn't feel good at all.
And lady can relate to that wholeheartedly because, well, she's very guarded and she's very mistrusting of people, and with good reason. Yeah, she's always looking in. Unfortunately, she's coming to the point where she looks at everything from a negative connotation.
I do.
She goes balls in with the friendships, like sometimes in a way that could be described as too very. Oh, I love them, like, and I've told her, hey, maybe scale it back just. So, if anybody, like, out of the 3 of us here, and I'm not taking, because the 3 of us, like, Lady could relate to that a bit more because she loves to make those connections. Like, that is the best part to her. Like when she says, "Oh, I made a new friend. Oh, this person came on my stream." It's like she gets so excited, and then or they come by for a little bit and then they're gone.
Yeah.
I'm also very trusting of. I'm either too trusting of people or I don't trust people at all, and it's sometimes it's conceived as being very fake and being very ungenuine. And it's not. It's just I can spend a little bit of time with somebody, and it's like once I get that vibe and I get what I think the vibe is, it's very hard for me to control not being able to. If I reach out and I get that vibe back, like you're not interested in talking, that's my cue to pull back and be like, the wall just went up. You're gonna have to fucking climb it now.
Yeah.
like, and that's just me because of what I've been through. And I don't let the walls down easy, and I won't because of it. So
Yeah.
it's like I always look at people and people will go, "Oh yeah, lady's the fakest person alive." I'm not. That's the crazy part. I'm really not. I'm just I wear my I'm like you, I wear my heart on my sleeve, but I'm very much 100% guided.
Yeah.
So it's like I never know what you never know what you're gonna get with me. You'll get days where I will chat your ear off, and then you'll get other days where I will pull back and be like, "Okay, I'm just not feeling it today." And you gotta just kinda roll with me because eventually you'll realize once I'm comfortable and I know where I'm at and it's good, you'll get all of me. But you gotta let me hit that spot where I'm comfortable.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't like to waste that time, you know what I mean?
Well,
No,
that goes
that's
back. That goes back
yeah,
to
that's
what
very
we,
true.
yeah, and but that goes back to what we talked about. Um, you have just an initial amount of time to really sell yourself to get anywhere with people. Another thing that we talked about follow for follow. Like, I want to ask you this because Deanna brought the question. Um, do if somebody follows you, follow them back, or how do you go about handling it?
It usually depends. 99% of the time, I don't do follow for follow, support for support. It is super, super rare I follow somebody back just because they follow me. The exception would be if, you know, let's say System was streaming and I pop in his stream and I'm chatting it up with System, and you and Lady come in there and you're like, "Oh, hey, what's up, System?" And then System is like, "Dude, Ram, Misfit and Lady are awesome people. I've known them for like freaking ever. They're always here. They are always supporting. They are like the most genuine, down to earth people. Like, I totally vouch for them." Well, where I've known System for a long time, I'm going to trust System, and I'm going to say, well, you know what, okay, and I'll probably follow. Um, but now, let's say I wake up in the morning and I check my whatever, say I check Kick or Twitch or Live Space or something, and I've got to follow, but I don't have a single solitary clue who that is. I don't follow them back.
Okay,
Um,
so usually you need somebody to vouch for that person.
Yeah, and it would have to be like somebody that like I know really well or like I've known for a long time. And gosh, System and we got to talking way back on Twitter way back in the day. And it's been a real long time. But it would be like him or maybe Speed or Delta, my two buddies that we got our Discord together as well. Like Delta's been with me since I first started streaming. He was one of the first people that ever followed me. Um, so, Delta or Speed, who I've known for a really long time, if they really truly vouch for somebody, I would trust them. But there's only very like select people that I would trust to vouch on, and those people are people that I do know really well. Um, and in time, as I get to know other people, and like for example, like Creatix and Final Kill and a lot of those people, as I get to know a lot of them even more on a personal level, and if you guys were kind of vouch for somebody or refer somebody, then I can absolutely understand seeing that. But I just don't blindly follow back people that I don't even have a clue who they are.
Okay, so hopefully this is a funny topic because I think at some point I know I've made light of it. System has said something. It's something we've all maybe had to deal with. Graphics artist. What's your
Oh God.
we went on some heavy topics, and McLauzie's in my chat here, and he brought it up, so I had to bring in a little bit of, bring it back to a little bit lighter topic for a moment.
Nobody'd
I
have
see
Twitter
McClassey's
follows.
comment there, and I'm gonna say I agree. Dude, the amount it's almost an everyday thing where I wake up and I have gotten like 2 follows on Twitter from graphics artists, and I'm just like, for the love of God.
We wouldn't have
And
follows on Twitter without them.
that's
Because
fair.
we're fucking full of them, for crying out loud.
Nope.
I mean,
I
I
have
get
done my
DMs
best.
all the time that's like, "Hey, sir, your profile looks great, but it would look better if you'd let me just do." And I'm like, block.
I get those in my stream. I get those on YouTube now. I was getting them on Twitter.
Always like when he goes, my wife takes care of it. Bye.
I was doing that for a little bit. Now I treat them as if they're people and try to, just to put out the message of, hey, thanks for coming by, but why don't you talk to me first before you start doing your sales pitch?
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
I'm
I
not
do
a fan.
agree. Is that if they were to come in and at least talk and be like, hey, how are you? Get to know you a little bit.
Oh, crazy story. Do you remember the one that actually went far enough to actually like try to be a person, like just a viewer, and to a point where they joined our Discord, and then
Was it my stream?
I think it was yours. I can't remember whose it was, but it was one of our streams. We had posted a Discord link. They jumped in. We're engaging a little bit, and then all of a sudden we got messages. They were DMing people,
In Discord.
Yeah, I was like, holy shit.
Yep, that's happened to our Discord a couple of times as well.
Yeah, like I was like, holy crap.
I gotta step away for a sec. I gotta make a phone call. Be right back.
On average, how many members do you think? Another.
Oh goodness.
Roughly, it doesn't answer.
I think right now in the Discord that I kind of me and my 2 buddies I've mentioned a couple of times, Speed and Delta, we all kind of came together. We all had our own separate Discords, and we all kind of because all 3 of our Discords were kind of intermingling anyway. A lot of them were in both or all 3 or whatever. So we just came together and co-founded, all 3 of us, one Discord server, and I think that we're at like 320 members or something right now. But it's been a lot of trial and error. I mean, there's been a lot of people that's come and gone, or they joined to try and get clout or whatever, and then left when they realized they weren't going to get it. But yeah, I think we're sitting right around 320 or so.
Okay, so I was thinking back. There was a time when the hate raids were like becoming a big thing. Did you guys ever get hate raided through your Discord?
Okay, sorry guys.
No, not that I can remember. I don't.
There's
think
a few
that's
people.
Ever happened?
Yeah, I just remember during all that time, and we're talking about graphics artists and coming into Discord. It made me think back. There was a time where I had people telling me they had hate raids coming into their Discord. Curious.
No, I was fortunate on that front. I never had to deal with that.
I think we had one. What was it on Gilded? Because I tried Gilded platform at one Discord, and we had somebody come in and they started spamming porn stuff.
Oh, geez.
Yeah.
Yeah, nothing like mild.
It was hardcore graphic stuff. Like it was like,
let's take 50 Shades of Grey and put an extra XXX spin on it.
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, there was some crazy stuff in there. I
couldn't believe it.
Have you ever gotten a hate raid?
No, not that I can think of. I mean, I think the worst that I've ever really gotten was just the graphic bots and the manager bots, trying to manage your YouTube channel and all that.
We haven't gotten the manager bots.
Oh yeah, no, I don't think I've ever gotten it.
I haven't had any of that. I've had the hate raid, and then I've had just the graphics artist from hell.
Yeah. Do you get any trolls that come?
Not
like anything bad, just
Not really. I can't really think of any that's kind of popped in that's really been noticeable at least.
Um, what are your goals? Where do you see?
Honestly, I mean, I would love to make this a full-time thing, but who knows? I mean, nobody knows the future. I feel like if I just continue being myself and do what I do, um and just being genuinely me, then we'll see. But I would love, honestly, to be doing this full time. That would be the ultimate goal.
So do you set yourself like follower goal, like milestone goals? Maybe not follower goal. It's like milestone goals, like so many
So many like
subscribers
yeah.
on YouTube or so many likes or followers on TikTok and like your stuff. Like, do you have anything?
Um, I used to kind of worry about like follower and sub goals, but I found that it would kind of be more triggering because I would look and be like, oh, I'm like one or two or three off, and then I would focus more on that than the game. So I don't really focus on that anymore. Instead, I've tried to put my my attention to like bigger things. Like for example, one of my personal goals is to make the live space boosted program. Um, I would love to do that.
Did you apply for it?
I think that'd be freaking awesome. I did apply for it. I haven't heard anything, but I did apply for it. Um,
Applied for
and
it, but I
then
look at it this way, even if we get told no, we at least took a chance.
right, yeah. I mean, the worst that can happen is just being told no.
Mhm.
Um, and even depending kick wise, I would like to maybe even eventually get verified one day.
Okay.
But that's I mean that's really about it. I'm trying my best not to focus too much on like number statistical type goals because I just don't want it to mess with my brain.
I got you. Um, so for verified, because with boosted, a bit easier. Like they don't make it as hard to get it. So it's a good prestige moment to hit. But as far as getting verified on Kick, I feel like multi-stream might be a hindrance to getting there because you're excited as far as potentially getting there.
I think that it's more of yes and no because like I said with TikTok and YouTube just streaming, vertically on there, it's just a way to get eyes on my content and kind of draw them into like live space and kick. Twitch I just do because there are some friends over there of mine that prefer Twitch, but I very very seldomly ever get any viewers or support on Twitch. It's just never really been that big of a platform for me. Um, so I feel like if I were to just focus mainly on kick and live space, it would probably be more achievable. But I haven't made that step yet to just totally get rid of Twitch and announce it to like everybody in the community like, "Hey, from this point on I'm not going to be doing Twitch anymore. It's just going to be kick and live space." Um but I feel like I'm getting closer to that point though. Like I feel like with each stream that I do, I'm just kind of like, Twitch is really just sitting there for no reason because nobody is there. So
And it's interesting because with the course that came out not too long, which is still not profitable at this kind of change. see a lot of people are like, oh, I'm gonna go check out Livespace or TikTok or YouTube. Facebook's still a contender. You know, it's actually telling almost that you see more and more people, maybe not in droves, or regular stepping away from Twitch. Which in a way would make it better for the people that stayed there because saturated, which is still a huge no Twitch, but others not.
Yeah.
But when you think Twitch, you think of it as being a gaming community. It's not, like when you think Livespace, you think everything. Like there's no limit to what you can do here. When you think like Twitch or Kick, you think solid gaming communities.
Yeah.
Or solid gaming platforms, not content platforms.
Yeah, you basically think gaming in hot tubs, to be honest.
Yeah.
Okay, so random one I want to throw out there because and this is something I wish I'd asked System. I'd love to hear Dana. ASMR stream.
Creep me out.
Sorry, System. I wish I would have asked you that just to use you to hear Dana's reaction or response to it.
Like it may and hopefully you and Lady and anybody in chat don't hate me for this, but to me, hearing someone whisper into a microphone and like rub their nails on it and then chew in it and like breathe into it is fucking weird. It freaks me out.
It absolutely does. I've only ever seen one. No, I'm sorry, I lied, two, because after I saw a clip of it, I had to go and see this for myself. The first one I saw, it freaked me the hell out. I'm like, what in the fuck am I? Person is.
Yes.
Here, System. Okay, System, how do we sound?
ASMR. I should have asked you about ASMR streams. I didn't think about it. This is just a random question that popped in. I wanted to hear Dana's reaction to it, good, positive or negative on it, just because I think her response would have been great.
I think if you've got somebody who needs to deep throat that mic and literally have it that far down their throat, we need to be reconsidering what you're doing as a hobby. Hold on.
That takes me to the second one that I saw, because I saw the clip show up on Twitter. And I was like, there's no way, like, this has to be a gag. But they had a fucking, I shit you not, a penis microphone and an ear-shaped microphone. Like the end of the mic where you would like normally talking to it, like it was shaped. I was like, what in the fuck am I watching?
And they would lick it and suck it. It was disgusting.
It was just, yeah.
That's awful. I feel like that's what the CIA should use to torture people.
That's how you get world secrets out of spies.
I feel like somebody's going to speak secrets and you start playing that.
Yeah.
Like, think about it. Like when you think ASMR, like I don't mind, like if you're on TikTok and you're like see these packing videos occasionally and you can like hear the noise, but I don't want to hear you tapping your fingernails on a mic and like
I don't want to hear somebody eating. Like I want to punch my wife in the face when I listen to her the way that she eats sometimes. Like it gets it's
hey!
Like, I love you, but I do. We've talked about this. You knew this when you married me.
I know, but have you ever heard how you slurp your ice cream?
Yes, but I'm so self-conscious of it. I try my best not to.
Like, and you do it even more.
The harder I try not. She's not wrong, guys. Like I'm not saying this like pick on her or anything.
No.
And I'm glad she calls me out for it. I'm so self-conscious of it that I try so hard that I ended up doing it more because I'm like, and it's like, and I hear it and I want to punch myself in the face. Like the sound just even coming from myself, it drives me absolutely bonkers and I hate it.
When I chew, sometimes my jaw pops. And you should see the look on his face because I have TMJ. So imagine as you're chewing and your jaw is popping, sometimes my jaw will lock and you can hear it like click. And he's like, oh my God, stop chewing. And I'm like, I can't move my jaw. Like I'm stuck. And he's like, he'll be like, don't do that. Don't do that.
No, she's actually very quiet. That's the thing, system. She's very quiet when she drinks. It's just she's not wrong. A lot of it comes down to her jaw, like the way her jaw will lock and pop. Her jaw just moves a specific way. It's not her fault. Like I mean, no disrespect to her. Like I'm not trying to pick on
He
her.
doesn't.
I'm just saying the sound. Like I'm comparing it like with how I feel like with ASMR streams. Listening to somebody chew, I can't stand it. And Lady and I have battled on it before because there are times she'll do it just because she knows it drives me nuts when she's being an asshole.
Oh my God, when I chew gum, we can be sitting in the car and he'll say something to me and it'll annoy me and I will chew my gum like I'm fucking chewing my cud, like I'm a fucking cow because I know
Oh my
how
God.
much it drives him nuts.
One time she was
and
doing
I
that.
do it because it annoys him.
She was dropping me off at work one time, right? Because we only had one car, and she was doing it, and I had irritated her in some way. I forget what I did. Right. She started doing it, and I looked over at her, and I just go, moo. She pulled the car over so fast, it's like, get the fuck out.
I did. I was like, there's the door. You can walk. And he works like 4 miles from home. We work far from home.
Dang.
But,
Ugh.
babe, unless you got any other questions.
No,
Ram, unless
we've covered it.
Chad, do y'all have any questions for? Do you guys have any questions?
Does anybody else have anything for Ram?
I think we've covered everything from schedules to highs and lows to thoughts and opinions on stuff. I mean, I think we got a real good take on who Ram is as a person, or as a content creator, if nothing else.
Ram's just a down to earth guy.
Yeah.
That's what I always pride myself to be, is just down to earth.
Your voice is very soothing too when you talk.
Okay.
No. I don't mean it in a bad way. Like, some people, it's the accent mixed with that like Southern, like military thing. It's not a bad thing, but it's just very soothing. It's very nice to listen to.
I have a question. You have a question.
Uh-oh.
No, and it's going to be good and bad. It can be good as good. What is your thoughts on
Dream teams? I'm hopeful in the ones that we're in now.
Okay.
Are good.
But like I know I think I told System about this. I can't remember if maybe I didn't tell System. I know I said it somewhere to somebody, but prior to Creatix, I had 2 awful experiences. One was with Team Cloud. That was the first one that I ever went to. And it was ran by a really young guy who truthfully didn't care about Team Cloud. Like, the only time he posted on Twitter was like, hey, like, if you want 5 gifted subs, or, engage with this tweet if you want something, essentially. And so it just didn't go anywhere, and nobody in that team cared about anybody in that team or supported anyone. It was just the Discord was totally dead, and the Twitter group chat literally was only good morning and going live messages, and that was it.
Okay.
And then the second one was Team Identity that I was in, and there were some good guys in there. I did. There's about 2 of them that actually still talk to me out of like the 100 that's in there. But it was basically centered around Call of Duty and only Call of Duty. So all the guys that were doing Call of Duty and the quick scope and the sniper trick shots and all that, they were like in a clique. And then everybody else that was not Call of Duty players essentially just didn't matter and were totally ignored. So I was in it for a few months and then I left. And that was my experience with the stream teams. But I feel honestly though with Creatix and everything that everything that Elder's doing, and when I talked to him about it initially with him and System, it seems like something completely different, totally different. There's an entirely different mindset and feel to what everybody is wanting to do, and it truthfully feels genuine. And I think that that's why I'm really excited about it, is because I didn't feel that way with the other two at all, and this one actually just feels genuine, like people truly care about who is in there.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm really excited about it. So I think CreateX is going to change my mind on stream teams as a whole based on the past two crappy experiences I had.
Okay. No, and that's actually really good because like I've done the stream team thing. I think I've tried to
We
run
did.
a couple of them. You know, I've made a few attempts at it, and you know, and I think that you're right. I think you should hit the nail on the head with what Elder's doing. His approach to it, from what I've seen so far, I can definitely get behind it. You know, I've had my skepticism, but you know, his approach, just in general, you know, he was selective of who he been selective of who he's brought into it. You can tell he's putting his homework in before he has
Has
brought
any
anybody in.
conversations?
You know,
Yeah.
he kind of he DM'd me a few times and asked me some questions. Twitter a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, he didn't just say, "Oh, you showed an interest. Cool. Here's the link for it." You know.
Yeah. Exactly.
No, and I think the thing is even the creators, once we were in, I think the creators that came in behind us, we all gave our input on what we thought, what we liked, you know, making sure that, you know, and I like that everybody took the time to look and to make sure we were putting in, you know, proper vetting process and not just going and saying, like Lead said, "Oh, here's the link, come join."
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's
Because we
fun.
want numbers.
Yeah, and it's funny. It seems like Elder and I, like I'm not gonna sit here and say Elder and I talk like religiously, and that more than I do, but you know, to see that we've got a similar mindset because like I was getting ready to message him and say, "Hey, reach out to System." Next thing I know, System's in the Discord already. Then System said, "Oh, we should look at Ram," and literally Lady and I are like,
We're both Lead and I are looking at each other like that was where I was headed.
yeah, and so when you put your name in there, like I don't think there was a single negative thing. Everybody's like, "Oh, heck yeah, go talk to him." You know, like we all
That's
seem to have a
awesome.
very similar.
It was the same
mindset.
thing, I think, with Jayco. It was everybody was like, "All right, let's move. We've
And
already
then,
been there. We already know."
And
Boop.
thank you.
I enjoyed watching her streams. Like I
Yeah, I
literally
never heard
went
of her before.
through and watched 3 or 4 of hers before I even gave any feedback, and I was very impressed.
Yeah, no, I had to go into her name. Yeah, no, like I actually, and the way he's done it has actually made me want to go. Like when Boop's name was put in there, I was like, okay, let me go check and actually give my actual 2 cents. So I actually went through and I, instead of just looking for 2 seconds, I actually went in there and looked through multiple VODs, watched how when pay attention for when people came in, and she was all around just another good choice in my, so it's great to see a like you said, a very similar mindset across the board, not just from Elder, but from everybody else in there.
And I do like I don't know if you guys realized he just posted in there, I think it was today, or maybe yesterday, that if you want to sit down and go one-on-one, put your VOD in there and he'll sit down with you, look over the VOD, give you tips and tricks on where you can do better, what you can improve on. I do too. But I mean, the fear for me is like hearing it all, but at the same time, maybe it's something you need to hear. But I like the fact that he's willing to give that constructive criticism to watch us all grow. Not just sitting back and being like, well, you're on your own, buddies. See ya.
Yeah.
I just had to throw it in there because I was kind of perused through, over the last year, had a couple of it, and since we're all in this, so I need to get better about that. And you and System Dana, awesome. So, do you do your own thumbnails, Cam?
I don't even really do them.
Okay.
To be honest.
See, all I do at this moment is
dabble.
I go find a picture on Twitter and throw it up, or a picture on Google and throw it up on YouTube as a thumbnail.
Yeah, see, I don't even do it.
I dabble in things. I dabble in logos. I dabble in this. I dabble in that. I still have tons to learn. I figure when I finish this program with school, the next one will be diving into digital, getting into like digital design so that I can take that streaming to that whole next level.
Yeah.
Being able to do like the overlays and the thumbnails and all the logos and all the fun stuff that I have no idea what to do now. And I kind of fake it to make it as I go.
Cover Ram that we. Oh,
I
last minute thoughts.
can't think of
I kind of feel like
anything.
we talked him to death.
Oh no, not at I've enjoyed it. It's been an awesome
Good.
awesome time. I mean, man, I think y'all hit just about everything that I could have thought of.
I just, I mean, we're trying really hard to make sure that we're getting all the good stuff.
Yeah. And the whole point again is behind is to pick your brain as a creator. McLeod wants to know, really have to have a chicken.
Ooh, I would say
No.
yes.
No.
They have the beginnings of a chicken.
I don't no, because think about it. If you have a bird who lays eggs, you're getting a bird.
You know what? That question has made my brain hurt.
Just think about it. So
Thank
like
you,
we used to have birds when I was younger, like junior high school age. And so our
Yeah.
birds would lay eggs. We never had a male to fertilize them or anything. But like if you think about it, if your bird lays an egg, you're getting a bird. You're not getting a chicken.
Yeah, that's true, I would think.
I mean, if your dinosaur lays an egg, you're getting a dinosaur.
I would hope so.
I mean, my ones in Pal Worlds give me dinosaurs.
Well, we're asking Twitter now. I put it up on Twitter, so McLeod, there you go. You know, have a Twitter post, courtesy of you.
No, McLazzy, it's fine. We enjoy it. Like, think about it though. Like, if your dog could lay an egg, would you get a dog?
Dog?
Don't you dare make fun of me. I'm getting tired.
I don't even know how to address this because my brain is like twisting every which way trying to figure this out. But all right. I think we hit a good point though. If we're getting to this point where we're going to discuss the universe and do eggs that really have chicken in them.
I think it's time for us to call it quits.
So, Ram, I thank you so much.
You're my baby?
Dana, you're more than welcome to come visit, and you can pet the dog. You can pet both of them. You can come
pet Z. Z will let you pet him. He's just chilling behind me.
Ram, give me about 48 hours, no more than that, and this is going to be up on Spotify as well. Guys, make sure if you missed any parts of it, I posted the link.
Please.
Let me get that again for all y'all one last time. Drop it here in chat, and you guys can.
You haven't sent that video. And did you forget to send that to system?
I'm still having trouble with it. I can't figure out how to get it to send an email. It's too big. But there's the link. So if you guys haven't already, please drop it a follow. Share it with people. Ram, there it is for you as well. So give me about 48 hours. It's going to be up there. There's some tweaks to it. Obviously, I learned a little bit from sitting down with System. System was our guinea pig. So, I was had a few more questions in mind tonight. So System, I love you, buddy. Thank you so much for being the first episode. We're going to get another one in to do it right. Dana, we got you.
We got Dana.
And then we're going to get his, guys, we're going to get Ram's social so that way you guys can follow him everywhere, help get him out there, help him grow. As you heard, he's a very wholesome guy. I think we've used this phrase repeatedly, down to earth. I don't think anybody can argue with what we've heard tonight. He's just all about community, all about just good vibes with everybody.
But yeah, thank you guys for being here. Thank you for hanging out with us. Ram, thank you for taking the time to hang with us.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Let us
thank
pick
you
your
guys
brain.
for having me.
No problem. All right, guys, we'll be posting the next one once we have our next interview lined up. We got a few people in line, so we just got to get on the schedule. So until then, I'm looking forward to it.
Dana, you're going to be a hoot.
Until next time, thank you for watching another episode of Table Talk, and we'll see you later.
Good night, y'all.